Good morning, Raider Nation. It is Combine Day. Appreciate everyone pulling up and tapping in on this special edition of Good Morning Raiders. Y'all already know what time it is. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Here we go. Chris, protect the shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
My God, lunatic Raider, Raider Legions. What is good?
We on? Oh, hey!
We on. None other than Mr. Fist, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Morley, bring out none other than the Violator, Wayne Marbury, bring out none other than the notorious Mitchell.
Yo, what is good, Raider Nation? Welcome to another episode of Good Morning Raiders. You already know I'm your host. I am Jay Raider. Appreciate you guys pulling up and tapping in. Combine Day is here for sure. Real quick, if you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys go ahead and check in, hit that like, hit that subscribe on this channel. It does to go ahead and so help to go to the channel and support the show. Appreciate you guys pulling up. We got a long show to go ahead and do today. We're gonna go ahead and go over a lot of prospects, a lot of stuff. This is the third day of the combine, so we already had day one with the defensive line, D tackles, linebackers. Yesterday, the D backs were on display and the tight ends. And then today is quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. We're going to talk about the last 2 days. We're going to talk about today as well. Jeremiah Love just ran his 40. I didn't get the time on it. Trying to get everything going on the show. But we'll go ahead and discuss that and much more today. We are in the market for a receiver and a running back. Maybe even another quarterback, depending what your take on it, what your opinion is on the number one overall pick. And we'll go ahead and go over that as well. So real quick, before we go ahead and get into it, you already know, can't start off this show without acknowledging my peeps in the building. Real quick, shout out to Jack in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Salute. Tanner Jack in the building. What is good? Tanner's already talking about Maxx. All right. We'll go ahead and get into all that. iPanda, what is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Salute. Let's see here. Ja in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Salute. My guy Anthony in the building. One of my mods here at Just Raiders. Salute, brother. Thank you for pulling up. Let's see here. Bishop in the building. What is good? Shalom, brother. Let's see here. Demokes, the great and powerful Demokes has pulled up. Salute, brother. Thank you for pulling up. Appreciate you. And, of course, my guy Jason Downs in the building. Salute. We're gonna go ahead and get into the D-backs and all that. Salute, salute. All right. No, it did not sound like D-backs, bro. All right. We got some business to go ahead and go over real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes, and my special guest will go ahead and join us in a few minutes. But let's go ahead and kick this thing off. We're going to go ahead and go over the latest news that literally happened just over 24 hours ago. Raiders go ahead and hire their next coach. They went ahead and hire Nick Holtz as their offensive pass game coordinator. Nick Holtz was with the Raiders a while back, and his return it is pretty significant. Really helping to go ahead and bolster up this potentially very exotic, very high power offense that we're looking to go ahead and really put together over the next few seasons. Let's see here. So Nick Holtz was with the Oakland Raiders back in 2012. And I believe he was here also in 2015 and to about 2021. So he's been connected with the Raiders for a pretty long time. In some way, shape, capacity, going from offensive quality control coach to assistant wide receivers coach, you know, and so on and so forth. So his latest stint was last year with the Titans. He was over there with them, and we saw kind of what they looked like. They had some struggles over there, but he's back now with us. So you guys let me know what you guys think about this hire. Are you guys for it? Do you guys like it? Or are you guys a little bit about the fence about it? But this again, Raiders going out and hiring Nick Holtz as their offensive pass game coordinator. All right. So let's see here. All right. We got a pretty good show lined up for you guys. We're going to be going through the combine. Right now, Robert Henry is doing his 40. He had a 4.55 in his 40. So you got a couple of other guys doing the 40 right now. And we'll go ahead and go over that. Obviously, we can't go ahead and show the stream, but we're going to be, if you guys are watching on the NFL or wherever, follow along with us. We'll go over that. Hope you guys got your coffee this morning, whatever gets your mind right. But again, appreciate you guys pulling up and rocking with us. All right. Let's see here. My guy Lecky's with these hirings, as long as it translates into a winning product on the field. I agree 100%. As long as they translate to a winning product, I'm all for it. You know, whatever that looks like, man. Again, you know, this year we can't have too many expectations as far as win or losses. It's still not going to look completely pretty. It's still going to look, you know, I don't want to say awful, but it's going to look like a better product from last year, right? We're probably going to get a couple more wins. But again, we're just setting the table, getting the building blocks together to go ahead and put something together that's viable, that is a winning product on long term, as opposed to something within the short term. And I'm talking about short term between 1 or 2 seasons. So that means this season, next season. So we're looking in the long term basis. So, you know, some of these hires, they might not get it right first year. And like I said that before in previous shows, there might be some hires and some guys might be potentially let go, but the amount of dudes that get let go might be one or two dudes as opposed to getting rid of the whole coaching staff or half of the coaching staff like we just did, right? We're in a total rebuild. So we're not going to go ahead and get it right, but it's going to next year. This is going to look completely different. I think we're going to go ahead and really be all in, all in focus as far as not having to worry about building out a coaching staff. We can go ahead and prepare earlier for the draft, for the combine, for free agency, all that stuff. You're not having to go ahead and multitask and be at the combine and also trying to figure out your coaching staff. So next year is definitely going to even look a little bit better for sure. Yeah, my guy, like you again. I'm not expecting anything this season, but to see rookies develop through the mistakes, 100%, my guy, for sure. I agree with that. Shout out to my guy G-Fam in the building, one of my mods and one of my members here at Just Raiders. Appreciate you pulling up, fam. Salute to you. Appreciate you. My guy Darren in the building. What is good? We need to have patience for a few years and not freak out. Yes, sir. Exactly. Hit that nail dead and the coffin for sure. But all right. You guys let me know what you guys think about this hire. We'll go ahead and go over that. I got some more stuff to go over with you guys as well. Fernando, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna hit this topic before my guest comes out because you already know who the guest is, right? And we know how they feel about this subject here. But the Raiders did meet with Fernando Mendoza yesterday, officially. They had an official interview. So let's go ahead and hear what Fernando had to say in regards to his meeting with the Raiders and kind of a little bit of insight of what transpired there. So here's Fernando again. He had the meeting with the Raiders. So that would be Kubiak and Spytek being in the building. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have a formal interview with the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a fantastic interview. The coaching staff was in there. We went over some of my previous plays, drew some plays on the board. Thought it was a great meeting. And I know they had the prospective number one pick, but anything could happen in the draft. I'm just excited for the opportunity, and whatever team drafts me, I'm going to give everything I got to them. Yeah, I was lucky enough to have a formal more Super Bowl rings than anybody. So that opportunity would be fantastic. Tom Brady, I believe, is the greatest quarterback of all time by a wide margin, and to be able to have the opportunity to be mentored by him it would mean so much, and especially to learn. And I'm all about learning. So from day one, I got to learn a lot. It's going to be a long journey, and to potentially have a mentor like that would be pretty impressive and pretty beautiful. More blessing. I can't thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ enough for this. It was such a blessing, and to be able to do it with all the accolades and awards are great, but to be able to do it with such a great group of guys, and also being able to do it the way that we did it was way more special and something I'll never forget. I believe with an NFL franchise, to lead it, you need equity, and you need two things to build equity. You need one to play well, and so that's where all my focus goes into football. If you want to lead, you first got to play well, and then second, it's having the respect of your teammates, your work ethic, through your leadership, through your tenacity, the way you respond to mistakes. And so those are all things I'm looking to work on.
Fernando, I know that you have said about Tom Brady the respect of your operation. When you consider the opportunity being mentored by him,
who hasn't admired Tom Brady? Guy has. Blessing again.
All right. So, Fernando, there you go. There you have it. Fernando met with the Raiders. Got to talk to Tom Brady briefly over the phone. And y'all heard his take on on Brady. Obviously, with this is known as facts. Obviously, he has a great admiration for Tom Brady and everything he's done, all of his accolades, and he would consider it an honor and a privilege to go ahead and be mentored by Tom. So, what are y'all thinking? How y'all feeling? In regards to Mendoza officially getting down the first interview with the Raiders, they'll have another interview, I believe, in a few weeks. I think it's for their 30-day. They'll have another actual formal meeting again, but now you had Fernando and Kubiak officially meet, talk about the ball. Obviously they went over some plays to kind of go ahead and get a real feel about his football IQ and football knowledge. And in person, obviously it's well known this kid is pretty damn smart, but it's different to go ahead and really feel and see a person in front of you as over, watching a video and whatnot. You really get you can really go ahead and really dissect and pick their brain in regards to certain schemes. And you heard Kubiak earlier this week saying that you want to go ahead and kind of get their knowledge to see if if these guys are going to be coachable. They're going to be bring them in for 3 or 4 years. They want to, you want to see if these guys are able to go ahead and get a sense of get their sense of direction. Are they coachable or are they teachable? Are they able to go ahead and really put in the work to go ahead and make this thing really happen and really work? I mean, we all know, and it's pretty documented about Fernando Mendoza's work ethic. It's the bar is set very high. To the matter of fact, this kid actually showed up a little bit early to his presser, which is crazy. Most of these guys are like super late, showing up on their own time and whatever. And this kid was literally there, not only on time but early, which is great. Which speaks volumes because it's just the type of dude. The character is definitely there. It shines. So I'm definitely excited to go ahead and see him in the silver and black. And we know that most likely he will be the pick come in April for the draft. Again, I've said it before, time and time again. I think we're at a juncture where you have to find a reason why you shouldn't draft Fernando Mendoza. I think this is the type of mindset where John Spytek and Kubiak need to kind of start thinking like, let's see where the red flag is, why we shouldn't go ahead and go after this kid. Is he really not going to be a good fit in the system? Is he not going to be able to go ahead and get what we're trying to implement? Or is he a guy that's not coachable, a guy that could potentially present certain problems in certain scenarios, because of X, Y, and Z, right? So all that has to kind of be taken into account. And, these guys are going to do their homework. But, I spoke to someone the other day on Instagram. They've already kind of went ahead and already had that mindset that Fernando's going to be the guy. This is going to be the franchise QB for the Raiders of the future. They've already kind of had that mindset. Now, were they 100% sold? No, but they were already probably in that mindset, like, this is the direction we're going to go. Real quick, shout out to my guy, Raiders Resistance in the building. Appreciate you, my guy, pulling up. Make sure, if you guys haven't done so already, go ahead. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and go on to Raiders Resistance. Give them a follow. If you're on Instagram, you have an Instagram account, go ahead and give my guy a follow. This was his media that I just pulled up from his profile. Make sure you guys go ahead and give my guy some love. Help him grow his platforms. Appreciate you, my guy. Always with the fire content. Thank you for pulling up and rocking with us on this Saturday morning. hopefully you guys having a beautiful Saturday morning wherever you guys be at, and rocking with us on this Combine Day. All right, so again, right now it is the running backs out on the field that we're doing their 40s. I've been trying to go ahead and kind of get some glimpses here and there and try to catch their times. I wasn't able to really go ahead and catch the times. I think Love just put up some crazy 40 numbers. And we'll go ahead and go over there. They're about to go ahead and go into the next drill. Pass after the 40. I'm not sure which one yet, but we'll go ahead and go over that real quick. Once I find out. So I'm like trying to watch this and do this multitask for sure. All right. So let's see here. All right. iPanda says that's our QB right there for sure. 100%. 100%. My guy, Josh, salute, brother. Appreciate you. Mendoza knows the playbook because Bill Musgrave worked with Gary Kubiak and Clint back in 2017. Bill was his head coach at Cal for one season. So, yes, and that speaks of volumes. And this is, again, why going after a guy like Fernando Mendoza makes sense on top of that. This is just another thing that you want to go, just another thing that you add to the list on why this guy makes sense and why he would be probably a really good fit in this Clint Kubiak system. You know, this is something where it's already kind of very familiar. You know, at least an extension of what his father ran, what Bill Musgrave ran back in Cal. So again, the whole thing is basically getting to know the person, right? So right now, look real quick. Right now, it looks like the drill is off tackle recognition. So they're running the drill right now. Emmett Johnson look good. Jeremiah Love is running right now. Let's see. Hey, Jeremiah Love is the truth. For sure, that guy is definitely first rounder for sure. Most likely probably somewhere in the top 10, if not top 5 for sure. So whoever picks him up is gonna be pretty lucky in that sense for sure. Let's see here. iPanda says very professional. Sounds like he has his head on his shoulders, not a rah-rah guy. Will dedicated all his efforts to the game physically. The guy is 6'5", 230. I'm sold on him. Let's fucking go. There you go. 100%. And that, and like I said, that character just kind of bleeds out. It stands out on the type of person he is. You know, he's he's a young kid. He's a young kid, but you know, you could tell that the roots, the way he was brought up, was very, very good. So the kid is definitely, one to go ahead and do the things that needs to go ahead and make things work, and put in the work and achieve his goals. He wanted to go ahead and be able to go into the NFL. Boom. He's on that brink. Literally went to like a lower rank collegiate school, brought himself up, developed his game, went out to Indiana. Now, not only is he a Heisman winner, but he is a national champion. So that is probably one of the best stories probably out there for sure. Let's see here. My guy Ray Resistance didn't get to post this yet, but we did formally meet with UCLA D tackle Gary Smith III. Okay, there you go. For sure. There you go. That's good. Let me see if I can. Hang on one second. Okay. All right. So, my guy G Fam we should have never, ever even think about not drafting Fernando Mendoza at number 1 overall. Don't overthink it, Raiders. Let's get our QB of the next 10 years. Facts, bro. And this is the thing, man. And shout out to my guy, Afakasi Raider. He was on with Jeff Showy last night. They kind of briefly talked about that. You gotta take the chance. You gotta take the chance. And this is the thing, and this is what I've said, what I put out in the chat. Fernando Mendoza is not Jamarcus Russell. These are two different individuals, two different work ethics, two different mindsets. The skill sets are even different. So you can't compare these two guys. Nothing's ever guaranteed when it comes to the draft. Some guys, they get picked high, they don't work out. Some guys get picked high and they do work out. Some guys get picked lower and they just become superstars. It just happens that way, right? There is no one clear formula to go ahead and get these things right, but you can make educated decisions. Not a guess, but the educated decision. The educated decision, and looking at all the film that is out there with Fernando Mendoza, having a year that he did, overcoming adversities in game time situations like he did, that goes to show you that this guy is probably going to be the best fit for this team, right? Nobody's perfect. And let's get this thing straight. Nobody is perfect. There's no perfect QB out there, right? All these guys need some type of either refinement, whatever you want to call it, in some way, shape, or form. They will go ahead and do that once they get to this level, right? It will happen either on the field, in training camp, or whatever. It will happen. But we need to go ahead and first get these guys in the building. That's just the way. And if it doesn't work out, again, we should be drafting a quarterback either every draft or every other draft until we figure this thing out right. We know that Aiden O'Connell now is on his final year of his rookie deal. Don't know what the future holds for him. Most likely, I don't see him in the Raider uniform in 2027. It could be a different guy, for all we know, right? Supposedly, the draft class is going to be the QB draft class is going to be big, depending where we're at. We're going to either get a guy in the later rounds, which we should, and I'm talking about 2 or 3, not the 6th round, right? And get a backup QB, or at least get the QB that could eventually take over if Fernando doesn't work out, if he gets injured. Just different scenarios that could happen. We've had that happen to us. We don't have the best luck in the world. So you always got to be prepared, right? So just putting that out there for y'all. That's my take on the whole Fernando situation. I feel like he's the best fit. If we do trade out of the first, we trade out of the first. I'm not gonna be, throwing my TV out the window, my computer at the door. It's just gonna be like there was a reason why we elected not to get Fernando Mendoza, and I'll be more curious what that reason was, what they saw, and then just keeping an eye out during the season, see his performance on what he becomes if he goes to another team. So yeah, shout out to my guy. We the people in the building. Salute. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's see here. Alex in the building. What is the deal, my guy? Salute to you. Appreciate you pulling up. All right. Let's see here. All right. We're going to go ahead and get into the rest. Shout out to my guy, Solcast Sal in the building. What is the deal, my guy? Appreciate you. All right. They're already asking for the guest. Is the guest ready? Okay, almost. Give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready to go. All right. Let's see here. Let me pull up another one. GFAM, is there any good fullbacks coming out of college? The fullback class, bro. I think that's a dying breed, bro. I think what we're gonna have to do in that aspect and that for that position, you might need to go ahead and kind of do a hybrid role, right? I've heard this where you go ahead and set up a hybrid guy, a hybrid fullback, like a tight end, line him up in a fullback position. That could be it in certain scenarios. Obviously, we saw the Seahawks do it this year, having their tight end line up as fullback. So that could be another thing. Obviously, we drafted a D tackle that can also play fullback. So that's another thing right there that we can go ahead and also pursue. But yeah, I mean, fullbacks is probably it's a really a dying breed, dying position. Not a whole lot really coming out in the draft that I know of, for sure. Josh says, I like Robert Henry Jr. from UTSA at 7th round pick. Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and get into all that as far as what where running backs and what potential wide receivers will we potentially draft in this upcoming draft. What round should we draft these guys at? Because that is very important. Things have changed within the last week. We finally find out what type of defense we're going to go ahead and be running. So that's also going to go ahead and kind of take an impact on this draft. I was already kind of drafting more heavily on the defensive side after, all my mocks getting Fernando Mendoza, and then going out and just getting a lot of defensive guys after that in the premium rounds and really bolstering up because offensively outside of the line, we're tight end we're good, running back we're good. We need a complimentary running back for Ashton Genty. We need a number one wide receiver to go along with Brock Bowers, right? We're true wide receiver one. That's the thing we need, right? Obviously, the offensive line, maybe 2 or 3 positions. You can get some guys in free agency. You can draft a couple of guys either for starting positions or depth. It just varies depending what you do in this free agency. Both go hand in hand. So there's a lot of different ways, different scenarios you would go through for sure. All right. Let's see here. My guy G-Fan says, correct, nobody's perfect except Fernando that went a perfect 16-0. And we'll go down to history for Indiana and may build a statue of the guy and 10 years for Indiana. Which honestly, bro, just goes down in collegiate history, man, as well. A quarterback, a team that went undefeated and won the national championship. I don't think there's too many of those. So definitely they are in the history books as well, for sure. Shout out to my guy Rick in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Welcome. Thank you for rocking with us on this Saturday morning. Like he says, Mayor at fullback could be interesting. That's what I'm saying, dog. That's what I'm saying. All right. Let me go ahead and bring out the man of the hour, our guest for today. That's going to be also doing this combine watch party with me as well. So y'all already know he is my co-host on the Wednesday, the Reddit Connection show, along with Leo and Nate. And then he has his Friday night No Huddle show, call-in show as well. Make sure you guys go ahead and tap in and check that out as well. And then does Tuesdays, the Most Notorious podcast with Will and Leo as well. Let me go ahead and bring out none other than my guy, 401 Raider, Hollywood Raider Jeff in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up.
Good morning, good afternoon, and all the other happy crap.
How's it going, man?
I'm sorry I'm late today.
Your fault. I started my show late.
I got a little caught up with everything that was going on last night. in the news and everything, so I was up a little bit later than what I wanted to be, but I
You were up
just
late,
couldn't
man.
stop watching. So
I watched some of that stuff on my Twitter. I didn't really watch like the
yeah, I was
the
kinda
networks.
I was watching streamers mostly. I had the news on too, but I had streamers that were showing stuff from
The streamers are
local.
probably the best footage you can get. Like if you're
Oh
on
God,
X
yeah,
and stuff like that, yeah, you'll get like stuff they won't show on Fox or CNN. But
yeah.
yeah, crazy stuff going on in the world, man. But hey, appreciate you pulling up and
No
rocking with me
problem.
on
What
this
I
Saturday,
miss?
man. Hey, I'm pretty sure you heard, but yeah, hey, we were going. I went over the Raiders hire. Their latest coach hire within the last 24 hours. They're bringing back Nick Holtz as their offensive pass game coordinator. We went over that. What are your thoughts on Nick Holtz? Obviously, he was here during the Oakland Raider days, the later 2010s, all the way up to I think 2021. He was here. Was his last stint with us here. So he has some history here with us, doing different positions as quality control coach, wide receivers coach. What are your thoughts on bringing back Nick Holtz as a pass game coordinator?
I don't know, because I'll tell you what, I don't remember him when he was here with us.
Because
So
he
that's
was
how
a
much of an impact.
lower. Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
Well, he's a lower coach. You're not really gonna. Those dudes don't stand out a whole lot unless their
No.
names come up like repeatedly. But yeah, I mean he was here with us, a while back, different regimes, obviously, but has some experience around the league. He was with Jacksonville in 23 as their pass game coordinator, and he was actually recently the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator last year, uh, doing the thing over there. So a familiar face for Raider Nation, but I think this is a
Well,
solid hire.
kind of familiar, I guess you would say, because like I said,
Yeah,
I don't. And he was here not too long ago with us. 2021 was his last year.
yeah, 2021 was the last stint with us. So
Assistant wide receivers
good.
coach. I'm just looking through him real quick to see. So I guess he's got ties with Bill Callahan from Nebraska. Let's see. After 4 years at Stanford, he became the office. All right, so he went right from Stanford to us in 2012.
So John, appreciate you pulling up, my guy.
So who was he with? He was with Jacksonville. In the pros, he was with Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Shout out to my guy Raider Ryan. Real quick.
All right.
My mods here. One of my members here at Just Raiders. Appreciate you pulling up. Salute. There you go. This live is officially sponsored by Dunkin'. I wish, bro. I need that.
Yeah,
Dunkin'
really.
now.
Me too. Trust me.
Get the donuts and the coffee in, bro. All day. Give me that card.
You know what? Kind of. I mean, I'm looking through here. He was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee, you said, and I see it. So he was there for the 2024 season and the 2025 season. So he was there for Vrabel's last year.
Yeah.
And he was there for this past season. Hopefully he works out with us.
Well, I mean, the guy has some talent because you could see.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Yeah, you can see the progression from Jacksonville, where he got the nod as getting his first stint as pass game coordinator, then getting elevated to offensive coordinator and running with the Titans for 2 seasons there. He was 2 seasons there, so
yeah,
it's just the whole situation with Tennessee, their ownership, the way they kind of run their shit is but before this has not looked good as well. They were very in line to the troubles that we're having here. So, trying to get certain personnel drafting right has not really worked a whole lot out of the favor. Obviously, one of the biggest splashes was Cam Ward. Their defense looked better this past season. A couple guys out there, but yeah, I mean, you can only do so much with some of the guys you got out there. But yeah, I for me, I'm cool with this hire. Let's see, obviously, how it works out. It's still going to be heavily influenced, and he's going to have really his hand in it. But like you heard him from when he got hired, putting all this thing together, he doesn't do it alone. It's a collaborative effort. You know, from
Yeah.
multiple people. You can't do everything yourself. Uh, so obviously, and like I said, there's going to be some guys that may not fit this year. May not necessarily be here next year. And I'm talking about the lower level coaches. But it's different letting go of one or two guys as opposed to letting go like half of the staff, replacing majority of the staff like we just did this year. So
Yeah.
completely two different things. This next season coming up is going to look even different. It's going to be better because we're going to have a lot of guys still here in the building. We're going to be concentrating more on this draft, on this combine, on free agency. You're not having to go ahead and go to the combine and try to go ahead and figure out your quarterback coach or your pass game coordinator. Like you can just strictly focus on the task at hand and just really, start working towards building something where you're going to go ahead and get wins and make a run. That's what you want to go ahead and do. So, yeah. Shout out to Rafa in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Salute. Let's see here. All right. I did the Fernando thing. Raiders met officially with Fernando, and we went ahead and put out that presser. Talked about my take on Fernando. Obviously, the one that I haven't shown yet, which I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and put if you guys missed the Raider Connection on Wednesday, let me go ahead and kind of pull that up, and we're gonna go ahead and get Spy Tech's take on the rookie quarterback, and we're gonna go ahead and kind of go from there. And then this is kind of coincide with the combine going on right now because, again, quarterbacks, wide receiver, and running backs are gonna be out today and doing their thing. So this is kind of goes hand in hand on what can be potentially the future for the Raiders as well. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Again, this is Spy's take earlier from the week in regards to bringing in a rookie quarterback.
I think you want to have as much pressure, limit the amount of pressure you have on that guy from the start. Now, if you have a young quarterback, I'm not necessarily in favor of running him out there right away either. So, another quality player that can play the quarterback position, if you have a young quarterback, and obviously a great offensive line, a run game, all the things that can like limit his chances to really get killed, and a great defense too. Because if he doesn't feel like he's got to go out there and score 35 points every week, I think that's helpful. I think you.
All right, so there you have it. That's Spy's take on bringing in a young rookie quarterback, and that kind of brings into my next thing here. Could there be a bridge quarterback this season? Who could that be? What does that kind of potentially look like? Do we use somebody in house or we bring somebody from the outside? So there's some questions swirling around there. We talked about on Wednesday about the whole Geno situation. We thought, my thinking still is, I don't see him in the building for this season coming up, but the level of that, saying that confidently, has probably lowered quite a bit. But what is your take on, because most likely we know that Fernando's most likely going to be the pick for the Raiders, right? But what is your take if he is a pick? Should they start this guy real quick, or should there be a bridge? And if there is a bridge, who could that bridge be? What are your take? What is your thoughts, Jeff?
No, just real quick. Thanks, Lucky. I appreciate it. That was fun last night, by the way. What's up, Bueno? I agree with not starting him right away. I don't think that's the right move. Now I've already gone on record saying this, that I think, in all honesty, at the way we're going, it doesn't make sense to cut Gino, take that dead cap hit, and then go and pay someone else to come in and be the bridge. Um, I with a better offensive line and a better developed running game, I think Gino could flourish for a little while in the season until you think Mendoza's ready. Um, I don't necessarily think, and I know Raider Nation's gonna hate this, but I don't think getting rid of Gino is a smart move right now. The cost of what it's gonna cost us double, basically. It's gonna cost us twice, is what I mean. It's gonna cost us in the pocket because of what we're gonna be on the cap books for cutting Gino, and then what we're gonna have to pay for someone else to come in here and be that bridge. All right. So my opinion is keep Gino. He's already under contract. You're already paying him. He's got one more year left. Keep him. Keep AOC 12 as your backup. Have Fernando sit as the number 3. All right. And let it get to the point where it's a healthy competition between the 3. So it's between Gino, AOC, and Mendoza. And as Mendoza improves, he'll move up as the backup. And then you bump, if AOC's not doing as well against them, then you move him down to the number 3 guy. Ultimately, at one point, you're going to get to the end of the season, and Mendoza will be a starter. Gino will be gone. AOC will still be on a contract for one more year, and you just go with that. You keep him for one more year as a backup, and then you got to make sure every year we have to draft a quarterback regardless, and that's something we haven't done consistently through the years, because you need to have and make sure that you've got people that can be behind him. But I think we stick with Gino.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. We need all the cap space we can get for free agency. We can't afford to lose 18 mil in dead space because we cut a guy just because we don't like him. Yeah, I'm telling you, given a better line and a developed running game, I think Gino could flourish for a little while. Doesn't mean he's going to last the entire season, but I just don't think putting Mendoza out there week 1 is a smart move.
Yeah. Buenos Aires. That sounds terrible. Oh man.
So's your name.
I'm just kidding. Maybe QB I can get him back on track. And that's the thing. I don't like Gino personally.
I don't either. I'm looking at it from being.
Oh no, I know, but
we need the money.
I'm saying, for me, I don't like him. I don't like him personally. His performance was just flat out terrible last year. Did we have
Everybody's
a lot of
was though? You can't just single him out. Everybody.
I know. But hold on, I'm getting to the point.
Sorry.
There was a lot of deficiencies in our offense that also contribute to that as well. Could he look better under Kubiak? Most definitely, especially if this offensive line is going to be fixed the way that we know it's going to be fixed. Now, bar none, we got to pay this dude 18 mil flat out, no matter what. We got to pay this guy 18 mil. That money is already earmarked, whether you agree with it or not. You got it. Now, the only way you can potentially get some out of something like that, not paying him, is if you trade him out. And at this point, I don't think there's any team out there that would go ahead and trade for Geno Smith currently. So what do, right? My thing is this, that I've said that maybe we should get rid of him because you don't want to go ahead and risk poisoning the well. And there's a lot of bad feeling, a lot of bad blood between Raider Nation and Geno, right? Geno was not happy to be here. And even probably extends into the locker room. We saw a little indications of that during the season. Certain scenarios where, he would get knocked down. You don't have guys out there running to help him get up. We've seen that. So, we've seen him get into arguments with other guys out there as well. So, I don't know exactly what the locker room's feeling is towards him. I don't think it's as bad as how we feel that it is, But on a financial, looking at it from just a black and white financial standpoint, it makes sense to keep Geno, right? Because what you would do essentially, so let's say you do cut him, right? Let's say you cut him, you're going to go ahead and get hit for the 18 mil. You don't, he's technically slated for 26, but if you cut him, it's 18. You save 8, but then you have to go out and get another quarterback, right? Unless the scenario is that you're going to cut Geno, you're going to run with AOC to start half of the year, majority of the year, the whole year, whatever that looks like, right? Then that's something that could make sense. You're still losing money. You're going to lose money regardless of the fact, but that makes something that makes more sense. Now, if you go out and get like a guy like Kirk Cousins, or you get a guy somewhere in the ladder trough down, you're going to spend anywhere from $15 to about $30 million. So now, not only have you lost 18, you're going to be in the hole for another 15, 20, potentially 30. So you're spending about close to about 48, 50 million just to go ahead and replace your quarterback for a guy that you've already drafted at number 1, that you plan to go ahead and eventually start either the latter half of year 1 or in year 2. So your guy is not going to be here that long, whoever you draft. So in this sense, it makes sense to go ahead and keep a guy like Geno Smith financially. And this is a thing that also we're going to put it out there, is that you keep Geno. You don't have to keep Geno for the whole year. If he starts playing better, if he starts looking better, you can go ahead and be able to sell a potential trade later down the season before the deadline and get potentially a 6th round pick, maybe even a 5th. At this point, we'll be happy even if we get a 7th round pick, but there's not really anybody that would trade for Geno, and this is the matter of the fact, right? And especially if you're letting teams know that, hey, we're going to go ahead and release this guy, teams are just going to go ahead and wait you out until he actually gets released, and they can go ahead and pick him up on a cheaper contract. They don't have to pay him the $18 million a year. So, or whatever the going rate he's going to be charging, right? It's probably going to be less than that. They're probably going to be able to get him for 10, 7, whatever, as opposed to paying 18. So either way, like financially, it doesn't make sense to let go of Geno Smith. This is kind of a bad deal that was done by the previous regime, that we're kind of a little bit having our hands kind of essentially tied to, right? There's not too many options that we can go ahead and do in this scenario, which sucks. So I'm looking at the chat. We're going to go ahead in the chat. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this issue with the scenario of potentially keeping Geno Smith? To keep him, try to trade him, later on in the season, have him start, kind of be your potential bridge for, a few games, 6 games, 8 games, and then eventually find a trade partner, trading him out? Do you go ahead and keep him for the whole year? What is everybody's take on this? Let us know down in the chat and the comment section as well, if you guys are going to go ahead and watch the replay later on today as well. So let me go.
I starred one. I don't want to read that one out loud yet. I want to go back to that one after the fact.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw the star.
Because that could be a little bit longer of a discussion. But I do want to address Bueno's, what he said, but we should just bench Geno for the rest of his contract. We're going to stop signing multi-year deals for trade. Here's the thing. I don't think his contract was that bad, though. Geno was only signed for 2 years with a 3rd-year option. That's not that bad for a potential starter for a year or two, while we try and find our way with a quarterback out of the draft. So that's not that bad. If we would have signed Geno for like a 3-year guaranteed 4th-year option, or for 4 years, okay, that's bad. But for a 2-year deal, because nobody expected us to be like we were last year. So when you bring in a guy that's got talent, because Geno does have talent, he wasn't surrounded with anything to help him be better, basically. But even if we went the route of trading him away, now good thing is that's the best option, because we unload that contract. that's on him and the team he goes to, what they do with his contract. If they rework it to make it a little bit more team friendly for the last year. But if we just cut him and then go at it with AOC as the starter, we still need to bring someone else in. We still need to have that third QB option because you have to have an emergency backup, and we don't have that right now in this team. We don't have anybody on the practice squad. Everybody's gone. Pickett. That means we'd have to re-sign Pickett, and I don't think anybody wants to see that again. I know I don't.
Right. And you're still spending money. You're still spending money.
Yeah,
that's another year you're not accounting for.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this comment real quick by John. He said it's worth losing that money, especially with his negative attitude. So you're seeing that. I want to put that out there that some people are up for losing the money, and this is the thing that you also have to think about now. And you guys can and it's not me telling you like, oh, we should keep Gino. The thing is, you also got to keep in mind like all these things kind of affect and piggyback off of one another, right? So if you move off Gino, you're going to lose that 18 million, and then you got to go ahead and pick up another quarterback to go ahead and start. If you're not going to start Fernando right away, right? We don't know. I think they're leaning more towards sitting him for a bit or sitting him for the majority of the season or the whole season. That's kind of what the feel is a little bit. So now you got to get somebody to go ahead and replace him. If you go ahead and pick up even like a dude that's worth, like even a Malik Willis he's gonna be around the 30 mil mark. So 28, 27, 29, 30. It's gonna be 25 and up. That's another that money that you would have spent on that quarterback, you could have spent on lineman. You could have spent on a wide receiver. You guys got to think. You guys got to keep in mind, or do a linebacker. That all this stuff makes sense, especially when we're trying to put this team, to be competitive again and build it the right way. Every little cent counts in that retrospect. If it would be different if it was like, okay, we're gonna get like a $5 million cap hit. It's not that much. $5 million really, and the scheme of things, is not a whole lot of money. You could do some stuff with $5 million, but really you're gonna have to spend a little bit more than 5 to really make it like a real big move or make a dent in things or bring in a solid player, right? But again, you're losing 18 and you got to spend anywhere from like 20 to 30 to bring in, a bridge quarterback for one season. It does make a difference. So it's just, those are the things that you got to kind of keep in mind. My guy G-Fam says, trade Gino for a bag of peanuts and be done with it. Hands wiped clean, mistake owned. We move on. Jets, Cardinals, or even Cleveland can have him. Again, I don't know if you're going to have teams lining up to be ready to get, trade for a guy like Gino, right?
I mean, I'll take a 7th rounder for him at this rate. If it means we get that 18 million back in cap space, and we can put that towards, a lineman, wide receiver, whatever. That's a salary for us for a top-notch player out there. Basically, is what that is. That's your 18 million right there. So right. If that's a difference of cutting him and not being able to get that guy that you want because of the money, or allows us to put a little bit more money towards someone if we're in a bidding war for somebody and we know that the team has offered more money than what everybody else is going to go for, and we've got that extra money in the bank. If you lose that 18 mil, that's a decision. We got a lot of spots to fill. We need as much money in the account as we can. And that's what I think is getting missed here with all of this. We've got 21 free agents. We got to account for 21 players that are not going to be on this roster next year. So that's 21 roster spots we need to take care of, whether we bring some of those guys back or not. Some guys you're going to be able to spend real minimum amount. Like Bob and Moya, sign him, get him done, get him over with first. He's going to be on the cheap. He's going to be well under 2 mil. Get him done. That's one spot out of the way. There's plenty of other guys that we can look to bring back. Bring back Kuntz. Make sure Snowden's here. Hit these players that are going to have an impact also. Put your money towards those guys first.
Yeah.
And then, are we still going to be a player for Lindenbaum? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's going to be out of our price range now based on that.
I think if there's a scenario where we go in all in on the guy in free agency, it's probably going to be Leonard Baum. So it just depends what that all in means for this team, right? For the
See,
front
my
office,
opinion's changed
are
on
they
that
willing?
now.
Yeah, are they willing to spend $35 million? Are they willing to spend north of 40? Like what is their mindset on what they're willing to go ahead and do to bring in a guy like Leonard Baum? But this is the thing what I've said. Like, if you can't get Leonard Baum, we still have JPJ. We still have a really good fucking center.
Absolutely.
We still
But
have a good
stick
center, so
him
we're not
there.
losing
Don't play
anything.
games with him. And
Yeah,
I don't think this regime will. That's the thing. I think they realize how valuable he is, and they're not going to mess with his head. That made a mess of him last year. That was all on the coach and staff. They didn't do him any favors.
yeah.
But getting back to what you said about going all in for a player, my thought process has changed off of Lindenbaum now. And it's only been this past week since we announced going to a 3-4. I'm all in on spending as much money as it takes to get Lloyd from
Devin Lloyd.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want that top backer. I want that top linebacker more than anything right now.
And
You
this
get a
is
guy
why
of his caliber, that changes our defense right away.
Yeah, this is why we say, like, this money, you have to start thinking about the money aspect too, and you can't just completely ignore it, like, because when you want to go after guys like Leonard Baum, Devin Lloyd, these guys are not going to be cheap. That means if you're in a scenario where you could get both of them, but that means what you're going to go ahead and buy after that, these guys are going to be lesser caliber. The talent's not going to be as high. So these are also things that you got to kind of keep in mind as well. I'm going to read this comment real quick by We the People. It says Mendoza will not sit if we draft him. We don't know that. I mean, because he's drafted number 1 overall. Yes, normally you probably would think, hey, if you draft him at number 1, this guy should play, right? What this regime is kind of looking like, what they're thinking is that we might not want to throw this guy to the wolves yet. Now, if he goes out in training camp and OTAs and he's killing it and just throwing dimes and just slicing dudes up in the defense, and they feel like he's ready to go, that's a different thing. And this is why also maybe keeping a guy like Gino, you might want to keep, because if you go out and let him go and bring in another guy and performing really is as expected as advertised, and they want to go ahead and start him, now you went ahead and spent like $20 million, $25 million on a bridge quarterback that literally is going to now sit behind Fernando. So that's also another thing you got to kind of have to keep in mind as well. So I don't know, just putting that out there. You guys make your own opinions. I'm gonna read this now. Mendoza has Joe Burrow written all over him, but with more upside as of now. This is my thing. With doing comparisons with other pro guys. We don't know what the fuck they're going to be. I hate doing the comparisons. I really do. I don't like giving comparisons, to be honest, because I just don't know what this guy could be. Like, I can see what he is collegiately, and it's a different level from what it is on the NFL, right? Not everybody's on the same talent level, right? So I don't like doing these comparisons.
I hate them.
If I have to do a comparison, I wouldn't compare him to Joe Burrow yet.
No.
Can I make that assessment maybe like 4 games after he actually plays? We'll see, right? If the performance is indicative of that, okay, cool. But I honestly I don't like giving that. But go ahead, Jeff.
I think it's easy to compare other positions. Quarterback is the toughest one to compare anybody to. You can say they might play with that style of play, or but to say that he's the next so and so coming out of college. Like, like this guy's the next Tom Brady or the next Joe Burrow. And I don't know. We the people, I love you, brother, but I can't agree with this one. Not even close. Joe Burrow is still, as far as I'm concerned, still light years ahead of him. And again, this kid hasn't even played a single down in the NFL yet. So for us to even sit there and say that, I can't do that. But if we're talking about matching up, like you look at a linebacker versus a college linebacker and one that's already playing in the pros, you can I think you can easily match those guys up. Running backs, same thing. Quarterbacks is so tough because there's so many different mechanics involved. There's a thought process and how they process what they're seeing on the field. So I may process, if I'm say Joe Burrow, I may process things a different way that I'm seeing than he may, which would result in two different style plays. Quarterback is so tough to do that with. I think that's the one position you can't do that with, to compare somebody. Again, you could say he's got an arm like him, or he controls the pocket the same. Okay, I get that, but to come right out and say he's so and so the next one, that is so hard to do. So hard to do.
Yeah, for sure. John says trade Gino in a package deal with Maxx. You could, but again, you may not. Also, the teams may not want that. It's not as necessary. Hey, we're going to throw in Gino. Pick up his contract too. It might be a harder situation to kind of finagle that thing in. You don't save money when you do release him. No, you're only saving $8 million. You're still losing 18, and you got to buy another guy. That's a problem. Tanner Jack, when you're flipping off the nation, it's time for you to go. I agree, bro. I agree, but
this, in all honesty, I get that. There's two sides to that too. There's it really. That's so tough, man.
It is tough, and that's why I'm saying, like, I agree with it. That's why I say, like, I have no love for that dude, and it's hard for me to speak in the way where, like, we're thinking about, like, even contemplating the fact that, like, hey, it's kind of makes more sense to keep Gino as opposed to just like letting him go, unless you're able to go ahead and find a trade partner. Now, I think it would be different if he just didn't have that bad of a season and he's movable. But it was just that bad where I don't think he's movable. I think the only options right now, currently, it's either you keep him or you release him. I don't think trade is in that scenario. Potentially could, but again, you have to find a really quarterback desperate team. And I think we're really, the season hasn't even started. I don't think we're in that scenario. You find that scenario when you're like in the middle of it and you need a guy to come in and be your guy to either get you to potentially get you to the playoffs, right? To limp you to the playoffs, or just to help you finish out the season. I think those are the two scenarios, right? So it's just that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this deal was not the best deal. This is Peter's deal. This is Pete Carroll's deal all through and through, and the Raiders signed for it. Now we're kind of handcuffed. So it just depends on what Kubiak and Spytek really want to do. Now, if they release him, I'm not going to be mad at it. I'll be like, fuck yeah, goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But if they do keep him, I'm not going to be mad at it either, because I see that part of it. Like, it makes sense in that aspect. Like, you could potentially trade Gino later on the season. So, I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
It doesn't. It's hard to swallow it, bro. For me, it is. Yeah.
My question now is, you might have heard this. I don't know if I don't think I have. Obviously, I haven't, because I'm asking a question. What's up, AR? Because Kubiak, when he got to Seattle, he got there before they traded away Gino to us, correct? So he went there with okay. So he went there with the thought that he was going to be coaching Gino. So I wonder if anybody's ever asked him what was his take on, like, was he in favor of coaching Gino? Was, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's his feeling? Does he have any ill will towards him? I don't think he does. That's the thing.
I think
this could be something that could work, because they have a little bit of a relationship, because they were in the same building together for a while before they traded him to us. So
they were briefly in the same building. Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing we just don't know. I don't know if the mindset was from the get-go that Snyder wanted to get rid of Gino. And that's a real question that we should probably be asking ourselves is like, did he really want to go ahead and get him out from the get-go? If he did, then that changes things. It might not be a Kubiak thing. It might just be like a scenario where it was just like, hey, I just got overridden. If it was Kubiak, then we know it's
Well,
gonna happen, right?
because this is my thought process, and this is to why I'm asking this, because if he was okay with Gino being in Seattle, and obviously it wasn't a Kubiak decision to unload him. I mean, that comes from the GM and the head coach and the owner, because he's your guy. He just did you good for a couple of years. And now we're just gonna discard him. But while they were in the building together before he got traded, because you don't know if you put somebody out there to be traded, there's no guarantee you're gonna be able to trade them. Teams may not bite.
Right.
But I'm sure they had a good idea that we'd be willing because of Pete being here and Pete loving the guy, and Pete's the one that brought him in there. So I'm wondering, he still had to work with Gino, like to get him acclimated to the playbook, whatever they were going to run for a system, along with Donald, getting those two together, and then maybe they finally realized that, hey, Gino's not going to probably be the starter on this, so now we need to really push to trade him, and then the trade went through. So I'm curious of what that relationship was like, because if it's a tainted relationship based on the trade, and if Kubiak had a say in getting rid of him, that could be a one negative as to why you wouldn't want to keep Gino, and that would make sense. I get it.
Right.
But if they had a good relationship and Kubiak thinks he can work with Gino, then I'm fine with giving him another shot for this year.
Yeah.
In business, it's the old saying of, spend money to make money, but that's not this situation here. We're spending money to spend more money to hopefully be better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
whereas we can get money and then spend it this way to improve the team too. So there's hits and misses with this. It's all on your
Right.
own personal take with it, but ultimately it's up to the team. If they find that cap space valuable, then they're not going to just cut him and take an 18 million cap hit.
Right. Right.
So
And
I'm curious to see what that relationship was. And these are the questions, unfortunately, that the media pool, the Raiders organization, is not going to ask. They're not going to ask these because it's a tough question. He has to be honest if he's going to answer it. And these guys just don't ask that shit.
Well, they're not gonna go ahead and tip their hand either way, whether they're gonna go ahead and part ways with Gino. I think they said that they had a conversation, and I think that's kind of where they left it at. So I don't know how you read into it. You can read into it like, okay, he's gone. They just talked to him and said, like, kind of try to get his feel for where he's at for the season coming up, whether he wants to be part of this team or not. And they probably came to the conclusion that he's not going to be in the picture, or it's like, okay, well, they only had one conversation. It could be that they're just busy doing other stuff and getting getting their coaching staff together, looking towards a combine, and yada yada. So there's different ways you can look at it. So nothing's really ever going to be said until it actually happens, especially on the Gino part. So yeah,
actually,
John,
Rick just answered the question too. I didn't know that. So see, I'm not a Seahawks fan, so I wouldn't have known that. So I appreciate that, Rick. He says McDonald fight. No, I'm sorry, not Panda said it. Gino was traded first, and then they got Donald. I would have known the timeline. So
that what they traded Gino. Yes, I know.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but
it's
was
traded first, then they got Donald.
Yeah, but my thing was like, at what point did they make that decision? Had to be made long before, because we can't trade off a guy right now. So let's say we're gonna do the Maxx deal. I don't want to bring up the Maxx, but let's say trade
I know
off
what you
Maxx,
mean, though.
right? You can't trade him right now. You're hearing offers, and then eventually that's gonna happen at
you're gonna have a plan
the
in
next
place.
10 days or whatever, right? So the decision for Gino had to be made presumptually, like either in January or February of last year, like, hey, we're gonna move off of this dude. We're gonna go out and try to get a different guy, right? These guys are gonna be free agents. We're gonna try to go for Darnold, right? So we don't know when that mindset happened. That's a whole argument. It's like, when did that actually happen? Did that happen when Kubiak came in and Kubiak and Schneider and McDonald made that decision together collectively? Or was it like, hey, McDonald and Schneider already had made up their minds? It's like Kubi's, when Kubi came in, they're like, hey, we're gonna get your new quarterback. Don't worry about Gino. Like, who do you like? It could have just went down
Or
that way.
it could have been a simple thing that Pete reached out to Seattle and said, "Hey, would you take a third rounder for Gino?" And then like, hell yeah, we would.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they drafted in the third round to make, what they got for value on that. I'd have to look that up to see what they got in value, if it was a bonus for them or not. I don't know,
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to my guy James in the building. You already know
James
what
Firpo.
time it is, bro, for sure. Shout out to my guy James. Appreciate you, my guy. Salute to you. Let's see. Let me catch up a little bit on these comments real quick. Shout out to Jack in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Josh says Trading Genie gives you 131 cap space. Well, right now, even with the increase, I think we're projected at 87. I'm gonna go into all that. I don't think we get to 131. You got to move some other guys as well to get to that point. Let's see here. Put the money towards defense like Devin Lloyd or Alex Pierce, 100%. Let's see. John said there are not many players making big money on our most of them are young, and we can afford to eat that money. That's still money, bro. I mean, they are.
I if you want to get, point, but yeah,
if you want to get a quality lineman, it's going to cost you anywhere from like 18 to about $30 million. It's that price range around there, right? If you want to get if you want to get a guy who's kind of lower on the trough, lower down on the trough, then you're going to spend less, but then you can get guys like Alex Kappa. That's what you're talking about, so you got to keep these things in mind. Or even a defensive guy, the caliber is not, you're always diminishing talent and their market value for a certain reason. You might have some gems out there from guys who are potentially coming off of injury, but you don't know how really, if that injury is completely gone, they completely rehabbed it, they're still having some issues with it. Sometimes it's a mental thing where they had a big injury and they're trying to, come back, and sometimes that kind of plagues them, or they just had a bad year.
Can we do this? Can we just put this in perspective? Yeah. Right? If you look at just the free agents for the Raiders alone, right, and you look at their market value right now, which is going to be the going rate that they're going to demand if they test the free agent waters, if we don't offer them a contract first. Yes, a few of them are going to drop in value. Like Kuntz is going to go from what we paid him last year, 11 mil. His market value is now 9.9. But guys are going up too. Like Eric Stokes, his market value is 7.3. He got paid 3.5. So there's a 4 mil increase. Landon Roberts, if he goes somewhere else or we re-sign him, he's jumped up to 4 mil from 3 mil. Parham, this one hurts me. If he got paid last year 1.2. Okay. If we re-sign him, his market value is 10 mil. Does that mean that's what we pay him? No, but either way, we're still going to be spending more money than what we paid him last year. Someone else that went up, I just saw too. Yeah, Darnay Holmes. If we keep him, he went from 1 mil to 2.4. Devin White, if we re-sign him, which we need linebackers, I mean, it is a possibility we keep him. He went from 1 mil to 2.8. Jordan Meredith. Now, this is one that everybody's saying we should possibly keep. He got paid $900,000. His market value now is 4.2 mil. So you add up these little bits of increases, that shit adds up.
Who are you saying?
Some of these guys are going to demand more money than what we paid them in the past. So it is going to cost us more in the long run. So we're going to be spending more money on re-signing some of these guys, and we're going to even more offset with Gino's $18 million hit cap, cap hit.
Who were you talking about though? Who were you saying that was at just under $1 million and went up?
Meredith. He was at 900,000. That was his market value last year. That's
And
what
where's
we
he at
paid
now?
him. We paid him $9 million.
Uh-huh.
His
And
market
where
value right now, he's a restricted free agent, is $4.2 million. So he jumped up $3 million, basically.
Right. That's the thing. Some of these guys that are going on free agency that were just with us, they could potentially take a hometown discount. You know, they'll probably give us a hometown discount with whether it's $1 million here, 1.5, whatever, a $500,000, you know, whatever.
Possible, yeah.
Eventually, it will all add up. But you don't know that, right? I think for like a guy like Eric Stokes, you want to probably try to come close to that number, right? Maybe a guy like A-Rob, you can go ahead and let go, or you can keep, or you can try to get it close to that number as well and see what type of discount he can give you. There's certain guys that you have to kind of evaluate and see which one you want to keep and try to see if we can go ahead and get them on a hometown discount. It just depends how they feel about the team and stuff.
I'm looking at something else here right now too that I didn't even take into consideration until this very moment. What guys are we looking at that we'd be willing to cut? What are the names that we've thrown out there?
When we did that, keep them or cut them.
The guys that are still under contract, but we want to cut them because we just don't want them on the team anymore.
We would have to look at the roster completely to see who we would go ahead and want to cut. Here, let me pull this up.
Because I'm looking at a list here, and this is gonna, if we do any of this, it's gonna cost us even more money now.
Well, I'm on Raiders.com. I can pull up that list of the current roster unless you have a better one.
Well, I'm looking at what would be a 2027 free agent. So they'd still be on the contract for the 2026 season. But if we're talking about cutting these players or certain players because we just don't want them on the team anymore because they're not worth keeping, you know, perfect example, Kappa. Does anybody want to see Alex Kappa stay for another season? I know Darren said cut Kappa.
What do we owe him this season coming up? I don't know offhand.
That's what I'm looking at. That's why I'm asking the question. Because there's another 5.5 mil that would be in dead cap. So now you cut Gino, you cut him. Now you're at 23 mil. You know, so that number's going to go up. Tyree Wilson, do we keep him one more year, or this will be his fourth year now? You know, he's a 6.2 cut. You know, Jeremy Chin, if we don't think that he's going to stay and we want it, he's 8 mil. You know, Trey Tucker, you know, now you're in the single digits. Now you're in the 1 mil and lower, or like 1.3 and lower. You know, so there's guys in this list that if we're looking at possibly getting rid of, like Aiden O'Connell, he's getting 1 million. There's no sense in cutting him for $1 million for a backup.
No,
and he's still, you know, why would you do that? That just doesn't make sense. Shedrick Jackson, you know, he's got 1 more year left on his contract. He's at 1 mil even. Let's see who else is on here that's any good. Dalton Wagner, 885,000. Lockie Tassi, 885. Lockie Tassi would not be one that we'd ever want to cut. You know, but there's guys that this shit would add up if we decide we want to cut some of these guys. So you have to keep that into mind too. You know, so it's not only just Gino, but you add up all these other ones that say we got to cut them.
Well, O'Connell, so for example, O'Connell, I think it's because I'm on Spot Track, and here I can share it real quick. He's slated to get about just over 3.5, and that's just an estimate. Let me pull this up real quick.
What, right now?
For this season coming up, yeah. So, if you guys can see it here, this is Aiden O'Connell's contract. So it's an estimate for this season coming up. He's slated to get about just $3.5 million, and this is his final year of his rookie deal. So as you see, 2027, he's a UFA. So, he's slated to get about 3 mil. So let's say call it about 3, right? 3 and change. Yep. But still not a lot. Still not a lot of whole grand scheme.
See, his dead cap is lower though. His dead cap's only 100 because he got guaranteed up front. That's why.
Yeah.
And signing bonuses. So his cap hit is only 120. That's the other thing. You'd have to look at their what their actual dead hit. So actually, let me do that then. So let me go to Kappa.
Yeah, so the dead hit will be here on the parentheses. Parentheses
If we were to
indicate
cut
dead cap.
Kappa, we'd be dead cap for $1 million even. All right, so it's not 5 mil.
Yeah, hold on. I just passed them. All right, cool. So dead cap would be $1 million.
Yep.
$1 million. And he's slated to get 4.5 this season coming up. That's
See,
what
Jeremy Chin, if we were to cut him, he's a 6.2 million cap, dead cap.
Hold on, where's Chin?
Not saying that we would, but I'm just putting that out there. If we cut
Yeah.
some of these guys get cut, just gonna cost us. Tyree, if we were to decide to cut him, 7.9 mil.
Yeah, but that's a 7.9 mil, but he's only getting 1.1 for the season. For this season coming up.
Well, it's all the signing bonuses and roster bonuses.
Yeah. So this is Tyree's contract. And again, it's a rookie deal. And he's getting first rounder money.
Did you see how much we have to pay him if we sign him to if we pick up his 5th-year option?
Yeah, 14
mil.
Mm-hmm. Which that time has come and gone. So we're not. At that point, we can release him or re-sign him at probably whatever we feel that
next year.
It's worthy.
It's at the end of this season. It's at the end of this coming season.
You can pick up the 5th. Oh, but then it wasn't the only dude was 2023 for the draft picks that you can pick up the 5th now, which was this like.
But his 5th-year option is still available. We haven't denied it. So he is still eligible.
We did that. We didn't pick it up. Yeah, we didn't pick it up. So I think this is for. I think that's what I heard.
We have to wait until the end of the season.
No, but what I heard was the 5th-year options are for everybody who came out in the 23 draft class. I believe that's what I read, and I might be mistaken then, because I feel that's what we did.
Because
either way, he's not coming. Either way, this is going to be his final year. We're not going to pick it up unless this kid just completely falls out.
2026 is his 4th year.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's on his final year. No, but that's what I'm saying is Tyree's. This is Tyree's final year.
We haven't played this year. We haven't played this.
This is his final. But no, but this is his final rookie year. Like
correct.
This is his final deal on the rookie deal. Yeah. I know, but what I'm saying, but I'm also saying like because what I heard was completely different. I thought they were gonna be able to pick it up a couple of weeks ago, like that, where teams can go ahead and pick up the 5th year. I thought that Tyree fell in this, but whatever. I guess I'm wrong. Either way, this dude is not gonna get picked up. I doubt it unless he completely balls out, which I doubt.
Correct. So basically, at the end of 2026. We have to make the decision before the 2027 season whether we pick up his 5th-year option or not. Because Linderbaum just completed his 4th year physically playing in 2025. So his 5th-year option was this year when they denied him his 5th year, when they didn't pick up his 5th year and they made him a free agent. So this is going to be Tyree's 4th year. Feels like he's been with the team for 20 years. But this is 2026 is going to be his 4th year physically on the field playing. He's only played 3 full seasons.
Yes, he would have
23, 24, and 25.
Yes, he would have to play. He would basically have to ball out. This is what I'm saying. Or I have to play at a completely higher clip than he did last season. Like completely better, right? So I don't know. Whatever for Tyree, I think the jury's still out on him. Especially when switching out to this new defense, it could change things. Could it work towards his favor? Probably. But we'll know until the season starts on that one, unfortunately. But you have some guys. I don't think there's too many guys. I mean, Kappa could be a guy that potentially gets released. Again, he,
Well, based on
you,
his what his dead cap's going to be, it's only $1 million.
yeah, it's not a whole lot.
And bye.
Majority of that contract got paid out last year, which was
Uh,
great. They front loaded it.
Yeah, Sal, I agree. I don't think Tyree gets his fifth. Not for 14 mil. I don't want to pay him 14 mil for that fifth year. Screw that.
Yeah.
He's not worth it. He's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what gets lost in all this is sometimes you got to kind of step back and look at the big picture. You remember this is a business, so you got a budget to work with. You can't exceed it. So you have to really play smart with your money and how you spend it. You need to go into the off season. Like right now, they need to be sitting down and working this budget to the best of what we can physically go out there and pull in that's going to give us the best option to put a decent team on the field. I'm not saying putting a superstar team out there. Put a decent team that's going to be competitive and stop moving us in the right direction.
Right.
And if it takes us spending a shit ton of money on one guy like a linebacker like Lloyd, then that's a starting block. He's young. We're going to have some time with him. We're going to be able to have him for a few years. He would be part of the moving forward with this team for the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's guys that are already in their late 20s, 30 or 30 plus that aren't part of the future of this team. We have to face it. Like Max is not going to be part of the long term for this team. I'm sorry. He's just not. It's just seriously, if he's got 2 years left on his contract.
What does that mean? What does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? Like when you say like he's not going to be the plans are whatever the team makes the plans is. You don't
But that's
know.
just it. Is he part of that? I don't think he is. I don't think he's long term.
You don't think he is, but he could definitely be part of that plans, right? We don't know whether he's going to be traded out. I mean, we saw what we saw, and that's something internal that me and you got to see, and you can make whatever you want to make out of that. I truly feel I don't think he gets traded, but if he gets traded, I wouldn't be completely like rioting on the streets, right? I'll probably be sad about it, but I get it. And if it happens, let's get as much as we can for it. If it does happen, I think this is just a narrative that's been pushing hard by the media because of something that was put out there partly by him and partly by other people that just kind of grew and grew, and it's just been spiraling. And I think Max is at a point where he's just like, fuck it, bro. Like, I've go through this twice, 3 times a year and say that I don't want to go. I don't want to be traded. I don't want to go to another team. I don't want to play for another team. I think it's like, I've already beaten the dead horse so many times. It's like, look, if you guys feel like that, if you guys think that I want out, cool. You guys think that way. I know what I am. I know what I want. And people in the building know where I stand on that. And you guys make it what I think he's at that point. That's why he hasn't come out and said anything, because it's just like, bro, I've said it so many fucking times. How much more can I say it? And you even have Spytex like, look, we've already said that we don't want to trade off of this dude, but as much as I say no, we're not going to trade him. It's like people are still going to call and make offers. So I'm just going to listen. That's what I just do now. I'm going to listen and just see what it is, and that's it. And like, there's no harm to listening, but what the response is going to be like a no, right? Unless it's like too good to be true, right? Unless you're throwing in the kitchen sink and then some, right?
Yeah.
That's something different. Then maybe there's a conversation to be had. But I think at this point, it's just like, it's all of the media buzz. Max's timeline is whatever the team says his timeline is, right? There's ways to go ahead.
Well, yeah, we got
and link the longevity of Maxx Crosby. Is it the way that Maxx Crosby likes to play? Fuck no, it's not. But sometimes you got to do what's better for the team as opposed to what's better for the player. If it's up to him, Maxx Crosby is going to go out there and play with fucking no feet and fucking on one arm, bro. If he's able to do it at a high clip, he's going to do it that way. But realistically, You know, like that's not how you play. You know, you have to probably start limiting some of the reps. You know, if we're getting definitely in scenarios where we're getting fucking our asses handed to us, why the fuck are we playing Maxx Crosby? We shouldn't. He should be here. His ass should be like, bro, we're not winning this game. Sit your ass down. Let's give some fucking garbage time to somebody who we're on the fence about, you know, and keep you put your back in the holster. You know, there's ways to go ahead and limit Max, but it's just not ways that he would be too happy about. But you got to also put in retrospect, like, look, motherfucker, if you want to roll with us, we got to preserve you to, you know, we're in a serious run when we're actually winning games, and we're potentially going to go ahead and be able to win the division, make the playoffs. Then that's when we'll go ahead and put you out. But when we're like, okay, cool, it's looking like a 6-11 season, 5-12. We're gonna probably have to shelf you early, if you know, to go ahead and get you ready for next year. He has to be okay with things like that. You know, it's just he just plays at a high clip. Eventually, Father Time is gonna catch up. It catches up to everybody. It catches up. Fuck, I'm feeling it now, bro, and I'm gonna be 42. And it's like I my mindset is like a 25-year-old, but my body is not like a 25-year-old. And it's sometimes it's hard for dude to like connect that. And he's not 30, he's gonna be 29, but he still feels like he's like a 20-year-old out there, 18-year-old. Like I could just like go out 1,000% and be good next week. Your body's not always gonna respond like that. So that's all I'm saying. You know, like the timeline is whatever the team indicates a timeline is.
Yeah, I know somebody in the chat just said it's whatever Max. No, it's not, because it's entirely up to the team. Because all right, so he's under contract for 2026. Okay, and do you know that on the third league day of 2026, after that, if he gets injured, he still gets his full paycheck, regardless.
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
It's part of one of the clauses in his contract. So he's got a $29 million 2027 salary guaranteed. So he's guaranteed $29 million for the 2027 season.
Okay.
All right. It guarantees the third league day of the 2026 season, injury guaranteed at signing, which means after the third day of this new league season that starts this year in a couple of weeks, if he gets injured after the third day, he's guaranteed his 2027 contract from us.
Currently, but we restructured this.
Not currently. That's guaranteed. It was in the signing.
Well, this
so
is
it's in the contract.
Hold on, Jeff. We restructured this deal every fucking year almost. So that money that is guaranteed for 27, that could potentially be lower because they extend him or they restructure him in a different way. That could potentially happen, bro.
No,
so
not
like
the way this works. His contract
it does work
that
way because you can restructure a deal. You can change. It's a new contract. You're restructuring your contract. You're doing a new contract.
This is all part of that contract. That's what I'm talking about. This is the new contract he just signed. This is all part of that.
Yes,
so
but
plus
they could come back. They could come back this year and say we're going to restructure your contract like by next week because.
But not if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, not he does he want to, but when the fuck does he not want to, bro? Like every year we restructure this contract.
Why would he? Why would he want to restructure it? Because if he gets hurt next season, he's guaranteed 2027 pay.
He's not gonna. He's gonna get guaranteed probably a lesser amount, not the whole full 29. You just don't know. But I mean,
that's the
whole point. The whole point is either way. Like, why wouldn't you want this dude to get fucking paid? Like you know,
I'm
like,
not saying
this
that.
is why you put guaranteeing deals in place because.
But this is
barring none that you get injury, you still want to go ahead and get taken care of, bro.
It's an injury clause in his contract. So
yes, I know it's an injury clause.
Anytime after the third day of this new season, he gets paid his 2027 salary.
That's what all players do that, but all players do that. Yeah. So it's not something special. What I'm saying
why would
is
he
that
restructure and have that taken out for whatever? That make no sense.
But I'm not saying I'm not saying he's going to get taken out. All I'm saying is that it could be lesser than $29 million. It could be like a $20 million. It could be $18 million. We don't know because the thing is when they restructure it is always team friendly, and he's done it so many times. It's almost every year where they actually restructure his contract to be team friendly. because they're pushing that money back and putting it towards the season to go ahead and get a player or whatever. This is what they do. Like we've done this for him so many times. That's why we're able to go ahead and increase our salary cap, because we restructure him to make it team friendly. We did that last year with Christian Wilkins. We restructured him and we're able to get a little bit more money, and we're able to go ahead and get some of these other players. We didn't get good players, but that's a fucking front office issue. But that's what they did. They restructure guys like that to get more money for the current season, and then they'll push it back for the following season. So they can do that next season. They can restructure them like, hey, you know what? We're going to re-sign you. We're going to push that money. We're going to make that little guarantee a little bit less. You're still going to get paid, but we're going to take some of that 29 and put it for this, because this is what we want to do on defense, or this is the guy that we're looking at, or yada, yada, yada. So that could happen.
So you're saying he restructured his contract in the past? Where?
Yes. Multiple times.
Okay, so I see initially he signed a 4-year contract on May 2nd, 2019 for $3.3 million. That's his rookie. And then the next, anything to do with his contract, he signed a 4-year extension on March 11th, 2022 for $94 million. The only change he did to his contract until recently was he converted $10 million of roster bonus into signing bonus, clearing 7.5 of cap for the Raiders on March 11th, 2023. The next thing, anything to do with his contract, was on March 5th, 2025, when he signed that 3-year, $106 million bonus. That's the only thing he's ever done with his contract. This shows all the breakdown of everything that he's either gotten in salary and any fines that he's ever paid in his entire career, which he's got a lot of fines.
But what I'm saying, like, they can restructure it.
He's only restructured once.
No,
and that was just
I'm pretty sure it's restructured multiple times, bro. I'm trying to look for it.
I'm looking at the full list right now. There's one time.
You can look at that list, but there's other shit out there. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've known that. Hold on. But I know multiple times that Maxx Crosby has gotten restructured, not just fucking once, bro. And they can still restructure them. They can still restructure them either in the future, either way. We're talking about something that hasn't happened, that could potentially happen. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get that $29 million like we're going to go ahead and get hit for 29. But either way, if he does get injured, even if he does get injured, why shouldn't he get paid?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. All I said was he's got a fully guaranteed salary in 2027 if he gets hurt. He's guaranteed that money is all I said.
Yes.
That's part of it. If it happens after the third league day. So if he gets hurt prior to, then that's not guaranteed, is what I'm getting at. So he's guaranteed that money no matter what for the 2027 season. After the 2027 season's over, we have an out where we don't have to keep him, and we take a 0 dead cap hit. Because his 2028 and 2029 season are optionals.
Yes, but that will most likely not happen unless like something, either they're willing to go ahead and bring in somebody else, or they're going to let him go ahead.
This is what I'm getting at.
And he wants to go ahead and go out to like, hey, I want to go ahead and test the market. That's a different thing, you know. But either way, they can restructure it. They can restructure or extend him or whatever.
It's a perfect opportunity to try and see what you can get for him in a trade, because he's got such a team-friendly contract. The team that they would only be on the hook for his 2026 season for $35 million. That's his pay, 35.7. So they would only be on that for that. Then after next year, his dead cap space is 0. So if it doesn't work out and they cut him, it doesn't cost them a damn thing to get him out of there. And if they keep that current contract, they can walk away from it after a full season or 2 seasons.
Put this contract up, because I don't know. You're just saying that we could get out of the. I mean, look, at one point he's going to be a free agent 2030. All right, this is Maxx Crosby's contract, so everybody knows.
But he's only guaranteed with us for 2 years, 2026 and 2027. We have to pick that up.
No, he's guaranteed until I mean, yes, contract-wise, yes, he's guaranteed until
We can walk away after the
29.
2027 season and it costs us nothing, but we get nothing is what I'm getting at. That's what I'm trying to get to here, is the fact that if we're gonna do anything with him, now is the time to do it. Because after that, we what do we when because this is the time to do it, because if a team doesn't work out with him, they can walk away and it costs them nothing for the 2027 season. They won't get much, they were not gonna get anything in return, but they can walk away.
Hold on,
That's why it's such a value. That's one of the biggest values added to him being traded, is because of that. That team-friendly contract is huge. You're on one season hit for him, and that'd be 2026. After that, it's sailing after that. Because look at it, it drops from 35 to 29. That in itself is a big difference.
Yeah, it drops to 29 next year.
But even his cap hit goes down from 35 mil to 29.
Yeah, it's still 29 million is not chump change either.
No,
Yeah. So,
but
he's
there's
still
no guaranteed money.
he's still
God.
no, I'm just saying, like, he's still contracted with us to 2029. I know what you're saying, but my thing is also my thing is also this. You've already know that they can extend him, because we get through the situations where, like, once that time starts coming up where the guarantee money is going to go ahead and get run out, we go into this whole, like, let's extend him. Let's extend him. Why are you extending him? Because you're trying to go ahead and get that guaranteed money, right? And if the team, again, this goes back again to my main argument, is like, if the team wants to go ahead and keep them, that's their timeline. There's no specific timeline. Like, there's not like, oh, there's not on the Raiders timeline. I'd like, what does that mean? Like, yes, he's gonna get older, yes, but if the team wants him, then he'll be here. So my thing has always been this. My thing is if they're gonna move off of him, cool. I'm not. I think I'm at a point now, and I think we're all probably at a point where we've talked about this shit so much that it's just like, fuck it. If you're gonna do it, do it. If you're not, you're not. Like, and let's just fucking move on. I think Raider Nation's at that point where we're just ready to fucking move off of this subject, because it's just so much that's been talked about, and you got guys now that are down, they just want to go ahead and move off of him and trade him away, and then you got some guys that you don't want to go ahead and have him trade. Am I for it? No, not necessarily for it, but if it happens, let's get the max return on this of this trade, right? If it does happen, that's always been my stance on it from this year, right? From everything that's been going off the last 2 months now, almost. This is like, if we're gonna go ahead and move off of him, all right, cool, move off of him, get as much as you can. And I think what they want, I think what has been put out there, that the front office wants at least a Micah deal, right? To at least consider, not necessarily they're gonna do it, consider it, right? Anything below that is just like, you're just wasting your breath, buddy. I saw something on Twitter the other day, and let's get into this part real quick.
Love rumors. Facts can be so misleading. Were rumors true or false are often revealing.
I fucking love that movie.
I know.
I love that movie.
Awesome fucking movie. I saw something the other day where literally, I think it was yesterday, that somebody put out there, and that there were supposedly the Detroit Lions were ready to go ahead and put up the Micah deal. They were willing to go ahead and, I think, give up 2 firsts and a player for that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I feel like I may not have responded to it, but I think I just saw it and I was just like, oh fuck, this is crazy. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and try to find it to give it context. Let's see. Oh, Rick says Max restructures his contract 23 and 24. There you go.
All he did in 2023 was convert a roster bonus into a signing bonus. That's not restructuring. That's all he did. So it doesn't word right. All he did was just take the signing bonus, a roster bonus, and turn it into a signing. That's all that was done.
I'm gonna put this up real quick. We got so off topic. All right.
But it's not.
Let me take this down real quick. All right. So this is a post that was put out. And, these guys cover the Lions, the Detroit Lions. There's just another podcast just like me, you are, right? They put out a tweet saying that reported that the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes were willing to go ahead and meet the trade demands of the Raiders for edge Maxx Crosby per their podcast. The deal was for 2 firsts before talks ended. The deal allegedly got put on pause with the recent Terrion Arnold news. So let me talk about the backstory to that, which is the why it got put on pause. So Terrion Arnold, I guess, got arrested recently. He was a victim of armed robbery, and he tracked down the guys who robbed him, and him and his boys came up with a plan to go ahead and get these guys back and get his shit back, right, and whatnot. So basically,
sounds like a bad movie already.
Yes, it is. He's basically standing accused of kidnapping. He got charged with kidnapping and like armed robbery himself or something like that, or conspiracy to commit armed robbery or something like that.
How did I not hear about this?
This has just happened like within they put this tweet out yesterday. Yesterday. This
happened yesterday?
Yeah. This is just a rumor because this is not from the Detroit Lions. This is from like their podcast or podcast that said that this supposedly happened. That this was going to happen, right? That the Lions were going to go ahead and bring him over.
Listen, right? Guy, think he's Liam Neeson? Taken? I have a particular set of skills. Me and my friends were coming for you. Oh my God! Some people are so stupid. You know what?
Exactly. That's what my mindset. I was just like, why don't you try to call your boys? I'm like, bro, you from the hood, dog.
That you make money, you're not too smart to be. Just because you're making shit ton of money, you're not too smart. Good God, why would you get yourself in the middle of that? Fucking dumbass. He's gonna probably fuck up his pro career now because of this. He's gonna do time, kidnapping, dude. They ain't gonna mess around with that. Jesus Christ. This gets funnier as I hear it now. Again, this is the first I've heard of this.
Look him up. Like it's that's what I did. I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is Terrion Arnold? And I'm like, what did he do? Most importantly, right? So he's like a DB for.
Oh yeah, he was a corner.
Yeah, he was a corner. He was a DB corner for the Lions, and then he got arrested. He got pinched because of that. So he got jacked. Like he found out who jacked him.
I'm reading the article now.
All his boys up, we need to go ahead and bust a mission. We need to do X, Y, and Z, right? And
dude, this happened in Florida. Oh, he's screwed. They ain't gonna screw around down there.
Mickey is lawyer for sure, bro.
Damn. If this would have happened up in Detroit, he might have got a little bit easier off on this. But Florida, man, Florida is a definite FAFO state. Fuck around, you're gonna find out, man. They don't take. Wow, why would you kill your career, man? Good God.
Yeah. So this is the supposedly trade scenario that they were going to meet the stipulation of the Raiders of giving 2 firsts for Maxx, right? I think what the Micahs was like 2 firsts and a player. Yeah, from what I remember. So this is not even technically the Micah deal. So yes, you're putting up first, but you're not even you're not throwing the incentive. So either you're not following that up with a player or putting a second round pick as a caveat, right? To be able to go ahead and get yourself a player either this season or next season.
So was it put on hold because we were going to get Terry and Arnold also?
No, because that happened. Now their focus is shift from like
Yeah,
trying to
they're
get
trying to do damage control as an
Yes,
organization.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to just go ahead and get damage control. Either most likely replace that player or at least cover that position with another premium player from the draft or whatever, right? So they might necessarily, instead of like drafting somebody, a receiver or whatever their needs were, because I don't know what the needs are. Now they're probably going to go ahead and try to get a top corner in their first round pick. So that's probably their thought process. Their thought process is like, we're good all around. We just needed one more piece, which is like Maxx, to really get us to that next level and make us, have a push. So now it's like, oh shit, now we lost this dude, or potentially could lose this dude. He might go to jail. So we might not have this guy for the next 3 years or whatever.
And he finished the season on the IR last year too. Terry and Arnold.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So in week 9 against Minnesota, he recorded his first career interception. He appeared in 8 games, 7 starts for the Lions. According, on December 1st, 2025, he was placed on injury reserve due to a shoulder injury that required season-ending surgery. So he ended on the IR and had surgery on top of that.
Yeah.
His current resident should say the jail that he's in. It doesn't even mention anything on Wiki as far as like that incident. And probably because it's just happened.
Yeah, you got to go to like Twitter.
Oh yeah, it was like less than 24 hours ago. It said.
Yeah.
He's linked to armed robbery and kidnapping. You moron. Oh, this happened earlier this month. They're saying they just got him now.
Yeah, this was recent. That's why like the deal got put on hold. Supposedly.
So here's this.
Supposedly.
Right. So he's linked to an alleged armed robbery and kidnapping incident earlier this month in Tampa, Florida, after the Airbnb he had rented nearby was burglarized twice. Let's see. Prosecutors accused Hilton, which is one of his buddies, of planning the kidnapping and robbery of 3 people while with Arnold in retaliation for the thefts at Arnold's rental in Largo, Florida. Him and his friends decided to take matters into their own hands rather than let law enforcement investigate it. Oh my God.
I'm going to put this up real quick. We can't cover officially the combine, but I could put a little clip out there real quick. Shout out to Leo. He's in the chat.
What's up, Leo?
Jeremiah Love, and I was trying to look for this. I was trying when he ran, I just missed the time, and then they never said the time again. But this is Jeremiah's 40. Take a look. So first run, he was at 4.37. This is second run.
Ago, Jeremiah Love, second run. Slightly better. Ago.
Fuck, that's fast.
In the rankings, he's number 7 overall, regardless of position. There's a running back faster than him. Mike Washington finished with a 4.33.
It's insane.
No wide receiver in the top yet. They just started running though.
They just started running their 40s right now.
Wow. Taylor Green from Arkansas, the QB's two spots behind Jeremiah Love with a 4.37.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I'll tell you what, you know who's fast for his size is that kid Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. Oh my God, I watched him yesterday. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
Skylar Ball's the fastest wide receiver right now with a 4.4.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. So, I mean, we're obviously in third day of the combine, right? We already had the 2 days pass up. So first day was edges, linebackers, and D tackles, and then yesterday was the D backs and then the tight ends. So let's talk about this as far as what the Raider needs are. So what are the Raiders' needs defensively for this new defense? So if you guys haven't heard, if you guys been living on the rock for the last week, which could happen. No, hey, no, not throwing mud. It's all good. We're gonna be running a 3-4 defense, right? This was put out there by Clint Kubiak. So we're gonna be running a similar system to what they ran in Seattle, right? And again, if you don't know, also some of Robbie Leonard's history is coincided with Mike McDonald having spent some time with Mike McDonald out in Baltimore. So you're going to be running a variation of that or something very similar to that. But now that there's a change, they're running a 3-4 base. What does that look like? Our needs are going to change. Obviously, we're going to need, some higher quality linebackers, definitely nose tackle to go ahead and help bring that pressure and change those disguises up. So what are offhand for you, Jeff? What do you think the Raiders' needs defensively are going to be? What position should we really look out for?
I got two, and that's definitely a linebacker and a defensive tackle that's played nose in college. We need a bona fide nose tackle. If we're going with 3-4, we need a guy with experience in that position. We just can't take somebody that's on our roster now and just like, oh, we're going to make you a nose tackle. Let's try this experiment. No, we need somebody that's either coming in as a free agent that's played it in whatever system they were in that's good, and or we need to find one in the draft. Yeah, exactly. We need a space eater, like Rick said. You need somebody that's going to plug up that middle and can handle double teams. Then in some cases, triple teams. Anything that's going to plug those A gaps up, that's your job.
Yeah.
And if it means turning the center and plugging the A gap on that side and you swinging your ass out and plugging the other gap with your ass and let your defensive ends and linebackers do their job, then so be it. You're cannon fodder when you're a nose tackle, plain and simple. Whereas you hit, smash. That's all it is.
All right. And let me put this up real quick. So the Raiders also met with defensive
He's
line
one of the
tackle,
ones I wrote down.
Lee Hunter this week
list.
as well. Oh, you have a list?
I wrote, as I was watching it the other day, I wrote a list down of guys that I was kind of paying attention to. And the guys that I thought were doing a decent job. He's one of them on there.
Yeah.
Him and his buddy from Texas Tech, Oneidem. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Proctor, Hunter, Durant, Jackson from Florida State, and Oneidem. Those are the defensive line I was kind of watching.
Yeah. Here, let me pull up.
Yeah, exactly, Rick. We need a guy with a big fat ass like Saragusa.
Yeah, there you go.
Seriously.
And we have needed a nose tech. We haven't really been strong on that aspect. To be honest, I like Cassius Howell. Cassius Howell had a pretty good performance yesterday. The other day, I guess.
Is he down as a linebacker?
I think
I got him written down too on a linebacker list.
They have him. I think they have him as edge, bro.
Do they?
Let me have him as edge. If it's D tackle.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I got more then. Yeah, I do have Howell written down. I have Rieger. That kid kind of impressed me watching him run around. The kid from Wisconsin, edge rusher. Gums was another one. And then
I like
and Howell.
Romello Height. I like Romello Height a lot.
Bailey was the other one from Texas Tech.
Bailey was really good too, bro.
Yeah. And then I had obviously for linebackers, I had Styles and Reese.
The thing with Styles, bro, I think he fucking had a great combine.
Yeah,
It was
and
phenomenal.
Rodriguez too. I think
Yeah,
Rodriguez
I
had a
think
good one too.
Rodriguez is gonna be some. I think Sonny Styles had such a great performance in the combine. I think he's elevated his stock, if not even more. I mean, he's already a first
Yeah,
round prediction. I think he's gonna probably go early first. I don't think he's gonna be in somewhere where we can go ahead and get him unless we trade back, right? And have multiple firsts. But if let's say for all intents and purposes, they're gonna
Omar
go
Cooper's running
as
right now for Indy.
yeah. Um, let's say if everything goes as projected, they're gonna go ahead and get Fernando. So it's gonna be realistically a second where we get a high value defensive pick. I don't know. I like obviously I'm a little bit biased, but I like Jacob Rodriguez. Um, there's some other guys that kind of stood out. Lawrence, Malachi Lawrence from USF. I liked him. Uh, that could be another potential guy.
You're
We
talking
can.
linebacker, right?
He's listed as edge.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching it when they were doing the linebackers, it was funny because they were talking about yeah, Cooper just ran a 4.47.
Yeah.
Because the way I don't know if did you watch the linebackers? Did you see who was going after each other? So you had Styles
I
going
didn't.
first.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry. No, you had yeah, you had Styles going first, and then it was Rodriguez right after him,
Yeah.
or it was Reese, and then all I know is Jacob
I think it
Rodriguez was
was
behind
Reese.
one of them.
I think it was Reese, Sonny, and then Jacob. I
Yeah,
think
and
that's how it
because
went.
they were just the way they were going in that order, um, Rodriguez had a great combine. It's just that
Yeah.
it was like the guys that were ahead of him, literally 1 and 2 in front of him were just so much better at that point because they just built different too. So it's like on
Yeah.
his own, he had a great combine. Whereas if he would have been spread out like at a different list on the, a different spot in the line of going through the drills, it would have looked even better for him. But because he was following those guys up every time, it just, you know, because
Yeah.
I thought he had a great one. He looked good out there. I never really paid much attention to him before until the combine, and I was like, okay, this kid's legit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There goes Notre Dame's running wide receiver, 4.62.
Yeah. Malachi Fields is currently running his 40. Notre Dame got 4.62. A little bit on the slower side. It's funny, 4.62 is like slow. I don't think it's slow, but in regards to like running 40s for receivers, it's not fast. It's not fast.
What's up,
Here,
Michael?
let me share this. Hang on one second.
Ooh, that was fast.
Okay, I'm gonna put this up real quick. I know we've been we're talking about other shit aside from like combine stuff.
Yeah, I got the same thing up there.
So
Um,
this is the tracker. These are the rankings from the combine from the last few days. So these are the D tackles. So they have Caleb Banks as the top grade, right alongside Kalen McDonald, Ohio State, and then you got Peter Woods, Christian Miller, Xavier Harris, and then Lee Hunter, Dominic Orange. I like Dominic Orange too, a guy that potentially we can go ahead and get. And I think for him, I think he's projected like a high third, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got Albert Regis, DeMonte Capehart, Brandon Cleveland, and then Daryl Jackson, Chris McLennan, Denote Corleone, Grayson Helton, Zane Durant, Deshaun Benny. The list goes on. Got Tim Keenan the third, kind of in the middle. Gary Smith. I think we met with Gary Smith the last few days at some point. So That's a D tackle from UCLA. And then you got Caleb Proctor, who was kind of rounding out the bottom half of the list, which is crazy. Um, let's see. Let's check at
There's not a
the.
lot of wide receivers doing shit today, huh?
They just started. The running
That's
backs
right.
already did the thing. Yeah, the running backs already did the thing.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize that they had just started.
They just started. Yeah, they can go through their drills in a bit. And these are the linebackers. So we're talking about linebackers, and again, running this type of defense. Oops, you got. I think linebackers are going to be kind of the focal point going into this draft. So you got Sonny Styles, again, a guy who's projected probably near the top 10 of this draft, probably anywhere from like 10.
Oh, he definitely pushed himself
10,
up that
11,
list.
12, 13, 14, 15. I don't think he slides too far after that, under 15. Anthony Hill Jr., probably another guy who probably could go into the low first, second as well. Josiah Trotter. Who is he? Who is he related to? Jeremiah Trotter? Yeah, I think he's like related to the.
Don't forget,
Trotters.
also
He is related to the Trotters.
Styles' brothers in this is a safety too, Lorenzo.
Yes,
he did pretty
he actually
good in
looked
his
pretty
own
good
right,
too. He looked pretty good too. I want to be mad at him either. You got Jacob Rodriguez rounding out like the top 5. Jake Golday, as well from Cincinnati. Kyle Lewis, CJ Allen, Jimmy Roeder, Harold Perkins Jr. Hey, I'm not mad at that guy either. A guy to keep a lookout for. Lawson as well. We got Justin Jefferson. He had a pretty decent combine. Like he had a cool combine. I'm not mad at him. He's kind of listed in the middle. Terry New York, another guy you kind of probably keep a lookout for in the later rounds as well. Third, fourth, fifth round, somewhere around there. You got Bryce Butcher. I think I butchered that name. Amandi Ubizador out of TCU. Waywood as Kendall Daniels, Lander Barden going into the lower half. Caleb Orr, Red Murdoch, great name. Eric Genty in that bottom list out of linebacker at USC. Scooby Williams, I love that name, Scooby Williams, Texas A&M. Jack Kelly, linebacker BYU. Wesley Bissan.
Is that their 50? Is that their 40-yard dash time? Is that what you're under?
Huh? No, this is the grade. They're here.
Right. What's on the like, holy shit, 5'6".
Oh no,
Jesus!
Some of these guys are running. The big boys are running about 5 seconds, 5'1".
There was a stat they put up yesterday. So out of the first 2 days, 5 different position groups went through.
Yeah.
This year's combine class, except for today yet still, were all faster than previous years. So like every position group yesterday and Thursday were already faster than any of the past combines, and so like they're getting faster as the years go on too. So these guys are every year they're getting faster and faster is pretty much what they were trying to conclude, as a conclusion. As a kid from UConn, Skylar Bell.
Yeah, his first run was 4.40, so about to run again. But yeah, these are the linebacker group. And I think honestly, probably in a wheelhouse is probably going to be like guys like Josiah Trotter, Jacob Rodriguez, obviously. Jake Golday could be in that mix as well. Kyle Lewis, Harold Perkins, Lawson out of Alabama, Owen Henneke. He had a pretty good combine as well. Justin Jefferson as well. So just guys, quality guys that can potentially, be something that we pick up either anywhere from the second, third. I think what we have, was it two or three fourth round picks? How many do we have? I think it's
I'd
2,
have to
right?
look.
Or 3?
I don't know off the top of my head. I really don't. Let me.
Yeah, I don't know either. Let's see here. The edges.
Two,
Did we cover this?
looks like 3.
3? 3, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's if we don't move some of those forts to get into the second or third, which could happen, or or they move back from 36 to probably mid second and get another third or fourth. That could potentially happen as well. We know that Spy did it last year. He moved back, got some extra. What I think he got an extra third or an extra fourth, something like that. So that could potentially happen as well. So don't be surprised Spy Tech moving around the board again. These are the edges. These are their grades. Obviously, R.L. Reese. He was top guy. David Bailey, Ruben Bain, which he did not participate. But let's talk about Ruben Bain really quick. Crazy shit. A shout out to Leo. He puts it up in our group chat that he got measured and he was under 31 inches. It was like sub 31 wingspan, which is like short ass fucking arms. Which is now a guy who was projected to go like top 5 in the draft. Was probably most likely going to slide down, even on NFL Buzz. Which I'm at. They still have him in the top 5. I don't know how often they update it. They have him ranked. They actually have him ranked 3rd, which is crazy. I think it was 2nd on some of them, but I'm pretty sure I heard stuff where they actually projecting to go even slide down to like out of the top 10, which is fucking insane for a guy like that. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? To the news of Bain just getting measured and then having that short wingspan, and then potentially now
I think it's going to hurt him.
Top 5.
Yeah, we did talk about this the other night, Nate and I said, some teams are still going to, based on his pure talent, some teams will still take a shot at him regardless of the length of his arms.
Mhm.
But some teams will hold that against them, and they may drop him down on their overall ranking of where they have him. Because I mean, he was at one point looked at as like a possible 1, 2, or 3. It'd be a crapshoot between who you take in those 3 positions, possibly 4th if you include Caleb Downs in that group. And that group was, in my opinion, would have been like a Mendoza, Bain, Reese, and Caleb Downs. Those are kind of like where your top 4. I think Bain falls out of that top 4 now. I really do. That could cost him. Like I said, if a team wants him that bad and trusts his ability, they'll go for him regardless. They're not going to let that hold them back. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Will Campbell last year from the Pats.
Yeah.
They still took a flyer on him. It hurt them in the long run. That's possibly one of the biggest reasons why they were as bad as they were.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think in this scenario, I wouldn't have them take my measurements. I'd have been like, cool, I'm gonna do the interview. That's it. I'm out. I dip and I'm out. Do my interviews. I'm out. Boom. Later. Because then you have a scenario like this where like, fuck. Now you have short ass arms, and because of his style of play, I think his style is more power, not so much the speed. Right. Now it takes into kind of effect, and teams might hold back, and now you're seeing that effect where he's sliding, could slide 4, 5, 6, 8 to 8 spots, potentially out of the top 10, which is crazy, which is fucking insane. So, yeah, it's just like this and I keep saying this combine is just not designed in the favor of the players. That's why you have pro days. The pro days are with the teams with their respected collegiate teams, and they put on a showcase and do certain drills and whatnot.
Oh, so you mean
their
so the pro
attributes on-
days cater to the player?
Well, the
They-
combine
they-
is catered to
They
the
set it
scout.
up so they don't make mistakes. That's why
Oh,
we can have this argument all day.
You can say, you can make mistakes in a pro day too. You can have a
Yeah.
shit pro day. I don't
But
know
there's more of a
how many
issue
dudes have
fucking up
shit pro
at the
days.
combine there is a pro day.
But the thing is, like, my thing is, like, he shouldn't have done that. He should have been like, yo, I'm gonna do my interviews, peace out, boom. Even if you're getting measured, and you knew he had fucking short, because I'm pretty sure he knows he has short ass arms.
Yep. If you already
Get
know
in the-
yourself that that's going to be a stickler for people, or for scouts and owners and coaches and GMs, then why would you subject yourself to that and have yourself measured? You already know you're not going to compete. So if you know you're not going to compete, just show up there, do the interview, and say, "All right, I'm out. Boom, bye. I met with everybody. See you at the draft." And Campbell got abused in the playoffs. He got abused during the season too, but I would not be surprised if the Patriots move him inside the guard now after this past season and go with a different option at left tackle. Seriously. I mean, it showed in the playoffs how bad that left side really was. And here I was giving him cred during the season as, two guys on the rookie left side, playing both rookies playing, the start and roll left tackle, left guard. But then you go back and look at who they played. Once they got in the playoffs and they met stiffer competition every single week, they were getting abused, and not only were they getting abused, Drake May was getting his ass whooped back there.
Yeah. And that goes to show the difference between like okay teams and like good teams. Once you start playing actual, good teams with talent, it's like, oh fuck, like these guys probably got exposed. These guys got exposed, not probably, they got exposed. So it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to my guy Bueno. He says, if we move back within 5 spots in the second, I'm good with it. Fuck that trading back twice shit. We need talent that can make an impact day one. We have a lot of developmental guys already. And
we could do that in the first round too, Bueno.
I know, but I doubt that happens. I highly doubt that happens.
You can go and get it.
If you move back like 5 spots, 8 spots into that middle second, you're still getting quality players, but you're picking up that extra draft capital on top of that, because you're probably going to get comped maybe a 4th, probably maybe a 3rd. It just depends. It just depends the scenario on the team that it's in question. So a lot of moves can potentially happen there. If they feel like they need to jump over another team to go ahead and get the pick that they want, they could be desperate enough to go ahead and offer something. So I'm looking towards that for sure. Let me round out this list, and then the corners that take more and more comment. So we talked about Bain, Kedrick Falk, Akeem Messador. He top 5 on there. Zy Young, a guy to go ahead and keep a lookout for. That might be more in our wheelhouse. I mean, these 2 guys are in our wheelhouse as it is. I think Akeem's going to be going like mid to high second. Zy Young probably around the 3rd round, maybe 4th, but I think 3rd round is going to be more realistic. Ashish Howell had a pretty good combine as well. Gabe Jacas, another guy to kind of look out for. Our Mason Thomas, he had a pretty good combine. He was a solid. The other guys had better performances, but I think he's solid, a guy to go. So kind of keep an eye on as well. You got Derek Moore, Crayon Crawford out of Auburn, Josiah Josephs, Malachi Lawrence, kind of in that middle group. Got to kind of keep an eye out for. I think Muramela Height should have gotten a higher grade, but maybe I'm a little bit biased. I don't know. I like all those Texas Tech defensive guys. I think they're all.
I don't think you can go wrong with any of those Texas Tech guys, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
They're insane.
Yeah, and
I think the only one that might, I don't know. I mean, I've seen mixed reviews on how Hunter did yesterday, Wednesday. Like I've seen some saying that he had a really good day. Some saying it was not impressive, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought he did okay from what I saw. Combine's one thing. You got to kind of go back and watch like the Senior Bowl. See how these guys did in the practices leading up to and the game. See what these guys are going to do at their pro days too. Obviously,
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I like the pro days. There's no two ways about it. The pro days definitely help, but I still think everybody should compete in the combine. If you're invited to the combine and you choose not to, that should be a requirement to get drafted. I'm sorry. Why should you get special treatment over everybody else, whether you think you're going number one or not? Look at Shador. Shador thought he was going to go number 1 or 2 last year, or number 1, and didn't get picked.
Shador was a whole different other scenario. But still,
he didn't do anything that day. That could have changed people's opinions if he would have gone out there and done something.
I think it was just his personality, the way he was just interviewing with teams and stuff that just rubbed dudes off the wrong way, and that's why he slid so far. I don't think it was just necessarily the ability or the talent. I think it was just the way that he was just presenting himself, that it was maybe like an integrity thing or personality, a character thing. So that was a whole different other reason. Could he have participated in the combine and still done those interviews the way he did? I think he still would have slid. Maybe he got it picked up a round earlier, but honestly, I think the slide was still going to happen, bar none, whether he participated in the combine or not. I think it was just for him. It's just the way he was just behaving in those interviews, that how he bombed them, just what affected him. So
Shador was going number 1 in his own head.
Yes, exactly. I think he knew that. You can say, hey, I feel like I'm the number 1 guy and whatever, but you still need to treat it like a fucking job. And this is where you got guys like Mendoza's like, bro, for me, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to go in and treat it like my job. Like if I'm going to go ahead and work a 9 to 5 and I'm trying to bite for a job, I'm putting my best foot forward, not just like, look, bro, if you guys don't pick me, y'all fucking up type of shit. He didn't. And then he was asked that question too at the podium the other day. It's like, what if the Raiders don't pick you? It's like, well, that's cool. Like they're gonna do what's best in their interest. I'm gonna just be blessed for whatever team I play for. I'm just gonna give it my all. And that's, you can't have a better answer than that, to be honest.
You watching this? Did you see what just happened when Mendoza walked out onto the field with the other quarterbacks?
I saw him sitting down.
The whole arena went nuts. Well, you got a lot of Indiana fans sitting in the stands, Hoosiers fans. So as soon as he walked out onto the field, as the last running back was getting ready to run his 40, they all started yelling and cheering and everything. So the guy's in the middle of his run, and everybody in the stage going, ah! yelling and screaming.
Yeah. Well, and then I think he's a pretty popular guy too. So,
well, again, he's in he's where he plays. That's where he is. He's in Indiana, so of course the fans are going to be there. Yeah, the Mendoza effect for the fans. Of course, 100%. I'd expect nothing less.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jesus Christ, you brought a college championship to that state. When was the last time they had that?
And they went undefeated, bro, which is fucking insane. Yeah, they beat out.
And he won the Heisman Trophy. And he's a man of God, so that's the reason to draft him. Remember that.
Yeah.
It was said on my show last night that's why they want to draft him, because he's a man of God. Okay.
Hey, would you rather draft Shador? You were dead against.
But I've seen that touted as the only reason that someone wants to draft him is because he's a man of God.
Yeah, no. I would.
That's just, you can't give me any other reason other than that. That's crazy.
Yeah, you don't know ball.
Yeah.
Let's continue on this list. Danny Sutton, LT Overton, George Gums, George Gums Jr., Mason Riger, Trey Moore out of Texas, Caden Curry, kind of going down the latter half of the list. Logan Fano. I assume Logan is related to Spencer.
Yeah, because I did hear somebody say something about him last night in the chat.
I didn't get to see him.
On him.
Oh, really? So he was that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like I was trying to watch the combine and like work and like take care of the kids. It was kind of hard to pay attention all the time. And
Oh, I'm sure.
I
can
have my
only
headphones
imagine.
and I'm trying to listen in, and I'm like, it's also I need the visual part for me. I need to see these guys perform. Aiden Hubbard, Jack Pyburn, Max LeBuen, um, Quintavious Hutchins out of Boston College, kind of running out the latter half. Tyreek Sapp. I saw he was good in some aspects, and then some parts I guess he was not. I didn't get to really see those, but I think he was doing. I think it was a W drill, and he looked pretty good. But I don't know what else he probably flopped on. Patrick Payton, Anthony Lucas, Marvin Jones Jr., Nakai Kelly, Vincent Anthony, rounding out the bottom list. For you, who realistically from day one, who stood out to you that is potentially is in our wheelhouse to go ahead and get that we should potentially go after or whatnot?
For what, free agent you just said, or I'm sorry.
No, for the draft from day one, from the day one guys.
Well, again, that's where my list would come into play. You know, the guys I was really, well, obviously it's not going to be anybody in the first round,
Right?
you know, so we're looking at second round as best option. I mean, again, I'd like to see us grab whatever the top linebacker is available. It's either going to be a linebacker or a defensive tackle, preferably a nose tackle,
Right.
you know, without reaching. So, like, if the best nose tackle really isn't slated to go until the third round, I don't want us taking him in the second type of bullshit. You know, I'd rather take the best overall linebacker possible. So, if we do get a guy like Lloyd in here during free agency, you know, we can have him grow along with him. They're coming in together. You know, yes, one's a 4-year starter already, you know, 4-year pro. The other one is going to be a rookie. At least you're going to have somebody that you trust can groom this rookie, you know. That's why you bring Lloyd in. There's your green dot.
Yeah.
You know? There's your green dot guy right there. There's your new leader on your defense. A guy that's got tenacity, a guy that's got that grit. You know, who better to have teach a young kid than somebody like him? You know, you need someone else on that defense that's going to be a voice. You know, and can he groom that kid to be that guy if that kid's that good? So I'm saying linebacker. I think that's going to be the best option in the second round.
So too.
I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh no, we need a wide receiver." I'm sorry, we can hold off on wide receiver for a little bit yet. If we're going 3-4, we need help on defense.
Well, if
provided we take care of the offense of line.
Well, if you don't trade up and trade away some of those 4th round picks to get into the second or third, you can draft a receiver in that range.
Yeah,
you can pick a guy up in that part who's not from Tennessee. So it depends. You can pick up a guy sooner. You can pick up a guy in the third. I mean, you know, we have we have Jack Bash, and I feel that the jury's still not on him. We'll see what happens this year.
I've got faith in Batch. I know a lot of people. I know Leo can't stand him.
I know.
I just feel as though we just didn't get enough time with him last year. We didn't get enough chance to see what his real potential is.
Yeah,
I think we got to see enough of Thornton to realize that he ain't the guy. Not yet, anyway.
He
needs to hit the weight room, and he needs to go sit at the offensive lineman table and get some meat on those bones is what he needs. Yeah. You know, he needs to sit there when it comes meal time.
I don't think that. I don't think that. I think more importantly, he needs to go ahead and do the fucking the Little Giants method and put something on his fucking hand so he can keep that fucking hand.
Yeah, that too.
He's like, oh. What the hell?
Wrap his hands in duct tape, but reverse, so it's the tapes on the sticky sides on the X kid.
Yes, exactly. Fucking.
Either that or we go with Nerf footballs and Velcro.
I know exactly. That's what he needs to do. Like, okay,
No,
go
not
out
Betch.
and do some
AI.
drills,
We're talking
dog.
about Thornton. Thornton's skinny. He's got no muscle on him.
Work that route, bro.
Betch is solid. I like Betch.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have taken him in the second round. That's all. We could have waited a little bit on that one.
Yeah, you could have waited a little bit on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Probably, I think he could have probably gotten a third. But yeah, we'll see. I think they just wanted a Jacoby Myers replacement, and they wanted to cinch that up. But the thing is that also too, because of the regime that was in here last year, they didn't get to play him to his full benefit. So we'll see how Kubi really schemes about this season coming up, and if we'll see him more of a kind of different role, maybe third down scenario or different scheme where it kind of highlights his attributes a little bit more. Obviously, I think he'll get more targets though, for sure.
Yeah, I really think with the coaching staff we had here last year, first of all, Spytek didn't get to do his job. You're seeing him do his job now.
Yes.
I think with the coaching staff we had here last year, I think a majority of the players kind of get a free pass, in my opinion, except for Thornton, because Thornton just couldn't catch anything thrown near him. Betch could catch. You know, you put the ball near him, he was going to catch it the majority of the time. I think a lot of these guys kind of get a free pass in a way. And let's see what they do in a real offensive system with real offensive coaches. You know, let's see what happens this year, because I think it's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
I think Thornton needs to put on 10 pounds of just muscle, because he ain't out muscling anybody for jump balls.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Well, it's not because of his size that he's having those troubles. It's just that his ability, his mindset is just not attacking the football in that sense. He's not going up for those balls. You know, he's letting that ball like come to him, and that's the problem they have. And that's all because of how they run shit in Tennessee. He didn't have to really do that. You know, like he outrun these fuckers like 5 yards, and so there was nobody next to him. So all he had to do is just like, you know, let the ball come to him. And you can't, you know, in this league, you have too much talent to like outrun dudes all the time. You have dudes that are either as fast or faster than you sometimes, and he's fast. So I mean, you know, that's the problem, is that he never regrew. He didn't have a great route tree to begin with, and his hands were kind of suspect, and that's what that was it. So I feel like maybe that pick was a little bit of Pete Carroll as opposed to John Spytek. I think he just like size and speed.
Pete Carroll, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I really do. And I know AI is talking about Grant. I think Rodgers is a starter. Yeah, I think he's starting right away, especially with this new coach, offensive line coach. I think he's going to see the talent this kid's got, because he's definitely showed it last year in the small amount that we got to see. Even we saw even less time at Grant on the field, and I still think Grant did okay. You know, they both have the frame, they both have the footwork for the most part. Now they just need the experience. They need to practice with the first team now. So if they come into this season and they get a legit shot and they get to spend as much time with the first line on the offensive line, the starters, I think you're going to see a different results for sure. I like Caleb Rodgers. I like that kid a lot.
I agree for sure. Zachariah Branch just did his drill right now. Man, he looked fucking good. We just met with him.
There's Casey Concepcion. Somebody asked about him.
I think I'm a couple seconds behind you.
God damn,
yeah, there you go.
Throw on him. Holy shit.
Yeah, this kid's
predicted for like
mid to late first. But Zachariah Branch, I think he's a great nephew of Cliff Branch.
I thought I heard someone say that.
Yeah, he's like the great nephew of Cliff Branch. That's a guy to keep a lookout for. He might be I think he's in our wheelhouse for us to potentially pick him up. And if we get a receiver, I'm not mad at that for sure.
Off Akasi, I think Grant will start? I think there's a potential if he shows up in training camp and really puts in the work. I think he's got potential. I think that's definitely the situation with him.
I think this is a time where if they don't upgrade that position completely, like, and I'm talking about like a premier player,
Mm.
I think they're gonna battle it out. I think it's gonna be Glaze and Grant to battle out.
Yeah,
That
I
right
think so
side.
too. I think they put well, they either have them compete for right tackle, or they move Glaze inside and see what he can do interior.
Yeah.
But then where's that leave Caleb Rogers? That would be the case where it's going to be Caleb Rogers versus Glaze at the right guard.
Yeah. And
If
I'm
you
talking
get
about
Grant,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut
if you
you off.
get Grant on the right tackle, because I think if JPJ's not, if we don't bring in a center and JPJ is going to stay at guard, then we put JPJ on the left side next to Colton Miller. You make that left side. You make one side the legit anchor side. And you got him and Colton Miller on that left side, and you lock down that left side. And then if you get a center like a Connor McGovern from Buffalo, if we can get him in here, if we can't get Linderbaum,
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
matter.
think we've got the
Matter
makings
either.
for a great from the center to the left side. You want to talk about giving some running room for Genti? There's your running lanes. There's your running lanes right there, all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about upgrading like Braden Smith, Jonah Williams type of guys on that right.
Yeah.
So if we don't go get one of those guys to replace Glaze, and I'm not saying we're gonna get rid of Glaze. I'm just saying like he might not potentially start or you get pushed up to guard because you're gonna cinch up that right tackle. Then I think you're gonna have a situation where you have Charles Grant and DJ Glaze battle out for that right tackle.
Yeah.
And that's good. And that's good because you never know. Maybe Glaze does up his game. Maybe he gets better because now we got Rick Dennison in the building. So he might work with them. He might be able to fix some of the shit that obviously Brendan Carroll couldn't fucking do. And he gets better in OTAs and in training camp, and maybe he becomes the guy. So we don't know. There's a lot of different scenarios. And this is the cool thing about having a guy like Rick Dennison who's experienced, who's been in multiple teams, who's already found success. He was just with Seattle right now. So we know what he can do. And that's my thing with DJ Glaze has always been, I think a lot of it is coaching. I think some of it is skills, but I think it's because he didn't have the proper coaching that he picked up a lot of stuff that he learned. Either he picked up or he started doing a lot of stuff that he wasn't supposed to do because of the technique. Nobody was there to really correct them on that,
No.
They have Phil been doing.
I mean, you had
so,
trying to play offensive line coach at one point, and that's not
Philbin
his
was
job.
doing. Philbin was up in the box doing fucking helping out with the coordinator with fucking what's his name up there. So they didn't have anybody really to correct stuff.
No. There's two guys on this team they have to sit down and have a serious heart-to-heart with. And put these two guys' minds at ease, and that's Glaze and JPJ. They need them to realize that they have that it factor. They just need to get it back. Let last year go. Don't let that season to last year dwell on you. JPJ, they fucked with his head. They did this competition bullshit with him, moving him around and everything. They gotta correct that with him. They gotta get him back in the right frame of mind and give this kid the confidence back. Glaze, same thing. The coaching didn't help him. He regressed so much from the year before. They need to have a serious talk with these two guys. And the fact that they both came into this team together at the same exact time, they have that bond and they can work with each other to get that attitude back that they had their rookie years, because they both showed so much potential their rookie years that they can't lose that. They got to get that swagger back. They get that swagger back added with some of the other pieces we have. I don't think the offensive line is as far off as we think it is. I really do. Especially with Dennison in the room, without a doubt.
Yeah. Definitely this line is going to look better. Real quick, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe on both channels. My guy 4-1 Raider Jeff to my right. Make sure you guys go ahead and give him like and subscribe. Everybody on X, make sure you guys go ahead and come on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that like button on the show. It does really go ahead and help the channels grow, the shows grow as well. appreciate you guys, everyone pulling up and rocking with us on this third day of the combine. So we're chopping it up. We're talking prospects. We're talking the future of this team, of this franchise. We're looking at some of these wide receivers going out. And like I said, Zachariah Branch was just out doing his thing. Concepcion was doing his thing. Concepcion, a guy that's projected to go mid to late first, kind of out of our wheelhouse unless we again trade back or trade back either the first pick or trade back into the first. Different scenarios could happen there as well. So, we'll see. But it's still good. I think with the whole scenario with like the wide receivers currently, I think we're gonna pick up a receiver in free agency, and I think was it Bet? I think Jack was the one that kind of mentioned it a little bit ago that Raheed Shaheed might be a guy that comes in, and he's been tied to the Raiders. Obviously, they just came back. They just had their Super Bowl winning year with Kubiak. So shout out to Jack. He says, I have feelings that Shaheed as free agent will target with Kubiak running the show since following Kubiak from New Orleans to Seattle, a gut feeling. So, it could be that it could potentially that could happen. I think if you kind of look at the tea leaves and everything that's kind of transpired between those two guys, and having him be a free agent this year, he could potentially come over to the Raiders. That could definitely be. Yeah, and this is the thing. He can also play special teams. So, yeah, special teams guy.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Carson Beck was throwing balls to the wide receivers, and as soon as they announced who it was throwing the balls, everybody in the crowd started booing him.
Oh wow!
They're all Indiana fans sitting in there. They all started booing him like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So now you're getting to see the quarterbacks right now too, because they are throwing the passes to the wide receivers.
Yeah, they're starting to go ahead and warm up and do his thing. Yeah, Jalen Daniels is out there.
Not the wide receivers, basically.
Oh, it's a
I was gonna say, yeah, Jarrett. Yeah, I plan on it. I did it last year, and I'm not passing that up again. That was too good.
Probably a little bit longer. I don't think too much longer. I got some stuff to do in a little while, but yeah, just wanted to go ahead and chop it up. Let me put this up real quick. Again, this is the cornerback list. These are the grades from yesterday. Mansur Delane, corner out of LSU, being top of that list. Avian Terrell, Colton Hood, Jermon McCoy, Chris Johnson, Knott Scott out of Miami, D'Angelo Pons rounding out the top list. Brandon Seiss. We met with Brandon Seiss earlier in the week as well. He had a pretty good combine. I like him. I got to go ahead and keep an eye out for a potential guy that can. I think he might go somewhere in the second, maybe third, somewhere around there. So definitely got to go ahead and kind of keep your eye on Heath Albany the second, Malik Muhammad, TJ Hall, Hiziak Masses. Sorry, I probably butchered that. Caden Cadenet out of Oregon. He had a pretty decent combine too. I saw him come up a couple of times. Davidson Ibignuson, excuse me, out of Ohio State. He's surprising. He's in the middle of that pack. Willie the third, another name to kind of keep an eye out for. He'll be in the wheelhouse. He's in that middle pack. We got Chandler Rivers. Devin Moore starts that bottom of the pack. Emphasis Priceock. These are some unique names, bro.
Yeah, right.
I like it. Though. I like it.
Names out there this year.
Yes. Takario Davis, guy you can also kind of keep your eye on. He had a cool combine. It wasn't. I think it was just solid. I don't think he did a whole lot to stand out, but I think he did enough to kind of solidify his position. He didn't hurt his stock. Dalen Everett, Charles Demings, Damani Jackson, Julian Neal, another guy to kind of you can keep your eye out on the later round if you want to pick up a corner. Thaddeus Dixon, Colton Wright, Marcus Allen, Latrell McCutcheon, Avery Smith,
You
Torino,
need to draft Marcus Allen just because of the name.
right? Like he's the second coming of Marcus Allen.
Well, remember last year's draft? There was a guy named his last name was Woodson, and his first name began with a C. I forget what his first name was. Maybe it was Christian Woodson.
Yeah,
Because I remember every time I did a
what
mock
you're
draft, I
talking
always ended up with him. And I remember 805 talking about it recently too. He goes, every time I did a draft, he goes, I'd always pick up that Woodson. I said, yeah, I did the same thing too because of C Woodson.
C Woodson, yeah.
And actually, he had a pretty decent year last year too, so it wasn't far fetched.
Yeah. Oh, we're going out. Yeah. Some of those names sound like prescription for sure, bro. Yeah, that's funny. Oh man.
Yes.
Mari Harvey, Andre Fuller, and then Jalen Gulibo out of Texas rounds out the list. Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, Brandon Seiss is probably a guy that you kind of keep an eye out for. You, I mean, you can take a flyer also on Ponds and kind of keep that continuity. He's pretty good in his own right.
Drew Aller's throwing right now.
Is it Aller? Was that Aller? Okay. Yeah. So was it Haynes King? Okay. Yeah. See, I'm behind you. Yeah, he looked cool. He didn't have the best year though. He looked cool though.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, Brandon Seiss, probably a guy you can keep your eye on. If you want somebody with the measurables, I think Davison at Ohio State will probably be a guy that you can potentially go after. I think he's like 6'4", something like that, 6'3". He's pretty quick too. Woolley as well. Guy you can go ahead and get out there. Did any of the corners stood out for you that you would probably would take a flyer on?
In all honesty, I didn't. That's not my forte. Like I didn't like.
It's not my forte either, but
yeah,
anybody that kind of like stood out to you, like oh,
not
shit,
really. I'm not saying that they weren't good. It's just like I wasn't. I mean, I was looking for like the name guys, like obviously Ponds for sure. I was looking to see how he did. That was pretty much about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and that's
like say, oh no, I was looking at this guy and that guy, and
yeah, Ponds is on the smaller side. I don't see what they have there. Yeah, 5'9". They have them at sub 31, wingspan 29 and 3/8. So let's see. Do they have his? Oh, I guess he didn't run. He didn't run his 40.
Well, and Caleb Downs wasn't partaking in anything either. So that's the other one that everybody would have been watching. Granted, I know he's not a corner, but I'm thinking just the secondary itself.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I honestly don't know. I mean, Styles, I happen to catch my eye because of just how impressive he was out there.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on I don't know where he's slated to go. Styles.
Mm-hmm. I don't know either.
I don't know where he's slated at all. Let me see. Does it show anything? Let's see if it
41 vertical. So, yeah.
Ooh.
So I guess some of these guys didn't participate in certain drills, or maybe they didn't upload it. I don't know. Let me see. Let me click on this guy. Maybe they didn't upload it because I'm pretty sure they ran a 40, bro. Yeah, for whatever reason, they just probably did not upload the info for the 40s. Yeah, I see that some of them.
I just realized that Styles kid didn't even he didn't even do the broad jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they kind of pick and choose what
Yeah.
what they want to
Yeah,
participate
because
in.
bench press only 4 guys did it on the safety group.
Yeah.
Only 3 guys did the shuttle. They don't do the 3 cone. I guess the other one too that everybody was kind of looking at, especially if you look at like the defensive tackles and defensive ends, the other big stat you want to look for with them, it is the 40, but it's the 10-yard split. It's
Yeah.
that first 10 yards, like especially your defensive tackles. You know, what's their time in that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's that immediate burst when you come off the ball. You know how much of a difference that makes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, where is it with the? Let me see. Do they do it for the wide receivers? Yeah, just to give you an idea, the fastest 10 on a wide receiver was 1.48. Defensive tackle is 1.6. Running back 151. QB 155.
Oh, okay. So like for Will Lee, they have his 40 up. Here, let me show it real quick.
Surprised they don't call him Trey.
So this is Will Lee's. He has a 4.52 and then 1.56 on his 10 split.
Excellent. Heck of a run there. Will Lee, one of the 13 Aggies here. School record for them, most by any school at the combine, 4.52.
Nicely, and that is carried over
So,
here at the
yeah, that's
Texas Tech kid, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of keep a lookout for you. But let's, since we're obviously doing day 3, we'll cover day 1, day 2, day 3. Hang on 1 second. Obviously, what really needs offensively. We talked about the offensive line. We talked about getting another a wide receiver 1 or getting another receiver. I think the biggest thing too that Kubiak kind of said earlier this week is having that complimentary back to Ashton Genty. And this is where kind of you look out for another guy that you could potentially go out and go ahead and draft in the later rounds of this draft, potentially 5th, 6th, 7th round. You pick up a running back in that anywhere within that stretch. From the guys that you saw earlier, anybody stood out for you or potentially kind of keep your eye on?
For offensive line?
No, running back or receiver.
I missed the entire running back. I didn't get to watch a second of it. I'll have to wait to watch the replay on it. I didn't watch any of it. Basically, when I finally sat down here, they were just finishing up, and then we started talking, and I just wasn't even paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Wide receivers. I mean, this has been a tough day to kind of try and watch because I haven't really. The last 2 days I wasn't live for it, so I was just kind of sitting, paying attention and watching it. It's a little bit different here.
That's what I was telling everybody earlier. And I'm like trying to do the show and trying to kind of keep one eyeball on my little picture-in-picture screen that I have here watching the combine and trying to like take assessment and do the show. So we're trying to do a little bit of multitasking here as well. And entertain you guys or bring you guys some good content as well.
See, tomorrow will be easier because it's just one group.
Right.
So many of them. So it is going to be a couple hours long. But that's the one where you're going to I'll be paying attention to that one. I'll be live, but I'll be paying attention to that one because that's the one that interests me the most. You know, especially knowing that that's one of our major needs. You know?
Yeah.
This is so funny, man. Every time Carson Beck goes out there to throw a pass, they're just booing the shit. It's like he's in a competition out there, like like he's actually in game time situation. This is actually working in his favor that he's still pulling these throws off by the crowd. I mean, there's not a lot of them, but they're still booing and ripping on him.
Yeah. Jalen Daniels. Oh yeah, I forgot about Jalen Daniels, bro. He's okay. I saw him play for the Jayhawks last year. I didn't see him too much this year, but he was cool last year. Coming out. Let me go over this list real quick. This is a running back list. Okay, this is kind of the current ranking they have them. So obviously Jeremiah Love's top of the grade. Jadarian Price, the second running back for Notre Dame. Mike Washington, Levon Moss out of Texas A&M. Adam Randall, Clemson. Jamari Taylor, Emmett Johnson, Demont Claiborne, Nick Singleton, Rashul Faison. I saw a little bit of Rashul. He looked cool, bro. A guy that you definitely want to go ahead and keep your name on out for as well. Roman Hembley, the running back out of Indiana. It probably projected kind of go in that 5th, 6th, 7th round, anywhere in between there. A guy that could potentially pick up in the 7th round. You have that continuity if you're all about that continuity thing between Fernando and him. Obviously, they know each other, play with each other. Ketron Allen out of Penn State, Desmond Reed, Seth McGovern out of Kentucky, Jonah Coleman, Donaldson, CJ Donaldson, Jam Miller, Noah Wellington, Max Redson, and Robert Henry. He had an okay combine. He was in the latter half, and then Eli Heydrich rounding out the bottom half of that list. So there you have it. I think like Roman, Rashul,
Did Love
in that
do
middle
everything
round.
today, or did he just run the 40?
Who?
Jordan Love. Did he do everything today or just the 40?
I think he might have just done the 40, bro. Let me see. I don't know if they have it up. They possibly can. Yeah, he just did the 40. Here you go.
Jeremiah Love representing the running backs on a big day at the combine. That's Jason Love. What's up, Pops? Box checked. Down. What a trait for a running back, huh?
Yeah.
It's a little clip of the combine.
Running a 40 at the combine.
Wow,
So out of this group, if we were to draft a running back, who are you interested? I have no clue.
You could have checked the before he even started.
Like Rashul is a guy to kind of like I said, to kind of keep an eye out for. I wouldn't go
South Carolina. The kid from South Carolina.
Yeah, Rashul. Rashul, South Carolina. And because I wouldn't get a guy too early. I want to get him in the mid pack. 6 is probably where I would start, because we already got Genty. All you need is somebody to complement him. So if you're not getting a guy in free agency, that means you're drafting one, and you want somebody to be with him for the next, 4 more years that we got him for, 5 years that we got, 4 more years, I should say, if you pick up his 5th or whatever. So you just want somebody there that's going to be that 1-2 punch that's going to be there for a long time. So you don't have to go ahead and get a guy like Jeremiah Love or any of the top guys in that sense, like Jadarian Price. No need to go ahead and waste a top pick on a guy like that, because that's not what you need him for. You probably want to go out Hembley. Who's another guy that stood out for me? Those are really kind of 2 guys. Singleton might be a guy that you go ahead and potentially go after as well, and bring in. I don't know. I just wasn't too high on Robert Henry. If they pick him up, that's cool. I'm not mad at that. See, Joe,
Yeah.
like Robert Henry. Yeah. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad if they bring in a guy like that. Like that's cool. Because you don't need him to do a whole lot. You just want him to bring that a different dynamic, a different step. Who's going to be able to pick up some of the reps for Genti as well. So, yeah, the receivers. Here, let me put up that list. And they're still going on. I didn't want to put up the whole list. Obviously, I'll read it off, but Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon are on top of the heap. They're not participating in the combine. Jordan Tyson, I don't think he's participating either. I haven't seen his name being said in the last hour and a half they've been doing this. Denzel Boston, we saw Concepcion, he looked cool. Chris Brazel, I don't think that's a guy that I think I'm gonna stay away from. Tennessee wideouts. He had a 4.37, so the speed's there. They have quick guys, but yeah. I'm kind of staying away from guys from Tennessee. Omar Cooper. Actually, I guess I'll put up the list. Whatever. Let me share this. So this is the list again. You have Carnell Tate, Lemon, Tyson are the top on that top five. Denzel Boston, Concepcion. Round out the top five. Then you have Chris Brazel, Omar Cooper, who was just on. He ran, let's see if they put up his 4.42 with the 1.55 split. So he had a good outing. Malachi Fields is another one, 4.6 for him. You got Zachariah Branch, which I just talked about, receiver out of Georgia, 4.3, 4.35 on his 40.
Seemed like he stumbled.
Guy was fast.
And he stumbled to a 4.36.
He had a 4.42 on this first one, 4.36 on his second attempt. That's crazy. On the shorter side, though, Skylar Bell, Antonio Williams, Elijah Surratt. Let me see what Elijah kind of they have it. Oh, I guess they. I don't think he's part. Has anybody seen him? I don't think I've heard his name being called. I don't think he's participating. Elijah Surratt on the combine. I don't think he's doing the combine.
No, I only saw Cooper out there from Indy.
Okay, so he might not be doing the combine. Chris Bell, Deion Burks, obviously Jacoby Lane, he's not participating. Zahan Sterling out of Mississippi, Ted Hirsch, Josh Cameron, kind of in that middle group. Kevin Coleman, Malik Benson, Reggie Virgil, Bryce Lance, Michael J. Sturviant, Jordan Hudson, Caden Wetjen, Aaron Anderson, Eric McAllister out of TCU, Colby Young, Chase Roberts, Dylan Bell, Jeff Cadwell, Caleb Douglas, Brendan Thomas, Emmanuel Henderson, Harrison Wallace, Cullen Lacey, Baron Brown, Eric Rivers, CJ Daniels out of Miami. And that's kind of that middle group. That's a bottom group. Xavier Thomas, Donovan McCauley, Jalen Whitehall, Benny Anthony, Chris Hilton, and Kendrick Law, that bottom group. So that's currently, they could change because they're still doing drills and stuff. QBs are up deck as well. So let me ask you this. Since the QBs are out there. So let's say the Raiders decide to trade out from the number one, right? Would you draft the quarterback in this draft, and who would you pick them up and where at?
Oh, I would.
No, but who would you draft as the alternate quarterback and at what round?
Again, I'm still a believer that we should draft a quarterback regardless. Out of the ones that are out this year, if we're looking at just the potential of what they could be in the future, I would take a shot at Beck later on, Aller. If we want to go for one early, then I would see where, if Ty Simpson does fall to the second round, I highly doubt it. I don't know if he's going to get out of the first round. There may be a team that may be desperate to grab him. I don't know. Would you make a move? I mean, because let's face it, he's the next best talent after Mendoza. There's no question. Mendoza's the number one option. Right now, number two would be him. If the tides were different, if things were different, then it'd be two other quarterbacks ahead of Ty, more than likely. But yeah, definitely Beck later on. Definitely Aller, worth a shot later on. Because here's the thing: if they turn out to be great, then guess what? We pulled the gem. If they're so, it's not a big hurt because we took them so late. We weren't expecting them to be more than maybe a backup. It's when you take somebody too soon, like you reach for them, and then they become a bust. That's what hurts. Like if you were to take, like, say they're slated to go like fourth or fifth round, and you take them in the second just because they're there. That's a reach. And if they don't work out, well, now that you kind of look like a bunch of idiots. Whereas if you wait and take them later on, and if they work out, great, awesome draft. If they don't work out, oh well, try next year. But having that mentality with your first pick overall, if he works out, that's beautiful because that's what you expect. If he doesn't work out, you can't sit here and say, well, yeah, we'll see what happens next year. No, that's just a waste. So yeah, I hope Mendoza works out. I really do. I want to see this kid win Super Bowls for us. That's obviously that's the goal.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, like what you're saying, that if it doesn't work out, there, you can't say, oh well, there's always next year. My case in point, you have like a guy like Caleb Williams. He didn't have a great first year. Year one kind of sucked for him. He didn't even look a whole lot great. And it wasn't until like this year where he hooked up with Ben Johnson and being put into that system and getting certain upgrades in certain positions that kind of helped elevate him and really looked like that number one overall pick. So that could happen as well. So I don't know. I think honestly, if you don't see it by year 3 that he's that number one pick, then you can kind of be like, all right, cool. Like then it was the thing that didn't work out. Like it just it depends, because that's the thing too. Like my thing, and I said it on your show yesterday. I think if he doesn't, he might have the thing where he might not play as the number one overall pick, but doesn't mean like he's shitty. It's just like he just didn't live up to that expectation of it, right? And that can construe him possibly as being that bust level. But there's levels to the bust too, because as we saw, we know what flat out bust looks like, and then we see like guys that just did not meet the expectation of that, So it all depends on how his performance is gonna be when he actually starts playing. That's the thing we gotta fucking be on the lookout for. It's kind of what is it gonna look like when he actually starts playing, either in preseason or during the season at some point. If even he gets a play in year one. I do too, obviously my thing is I feel that he's gonna work out because I think he's the best option because of his play style, what he can do, of his familiarity to the systems he's already ran before. And with Kubiak, I think is going to be the best fit for him. Obviously, we got to get some other things for him. We got to give him a couple more weapons. But he already has Brock Bowers. He already has Aston Genty. So part of the game is already cinched in there. I think it's just getting him either a true wide receiver one or somebody who can start making dynamic plays on the receiver route. Is going to be key there for sure. we'll see here. Josh says we still have a chance to see Mendoza throw April 1st. See how deep he can throw. Gives Kubiak time to think if he's the number one. Time to think he's the number one pick. Yeah, for sure. And I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Like, you got to start thinking the reasons why you shouldn't draft Fernando. You know, like real reasons. You know,
I mean, the only difference, I think, like you brought up Caleb Williams, the difference between those two, team wise, not skill and ability and all that. I'm not looking at their ability or whatever. What's the difference between the two? Team wise, between the two, the difference is the Bears didn't do anything in free agency his rookie year, and they didn't do anything in the draft to assist in building up that line. Where at least seems like we're going to address in free agency what we can, because we don't know yet because free agency hasn't started, but we're coming up on it soon. So we've got that ability to address the offensive line ahead of time. So, and we can also address some things in the draft that can give a better transition for Mendoza, a much better chance of surviving behind an offensive line than what Caleb Williams had his first year. Because his first year was he was okay. He showed talent, but he wasn't getting the support up front. Whereas we've got this chance, and we've seen the mistakes made by some teams. We've got that chance right now to bolster that. So as a rookie, we can give him a better chance and actually use his talent if we build up in front of him. Right. If we don't do it in free agency, there's like almost zero chance we do it in the draft, to bolster that offensive line, So if we don't do it in free agency, then
case in point is
Gino still here. It's not gonna be fun for AOC or Genty.
Yeah. Case in point, the Titans are a perfect example. I mean, look at Cam Ward's first year. You know what they did. They didn't do a whole lot, but the kids show flashes a lot of times. So
Cam Ward's a way different quarterback, though. Too. He's an athletic quarterback that he's built like a linebacker. I mean, the kid was huge. Yeah. So he himself could control the game like that.
Yeah, but I think for him, he still needed help. He still needed a lot of help.
God, yeah, everybody does.
Yeah, what they're doing out in Tennessee, but yeah.
Tom Brady wouldn't be what Tom Brady was without the players around him, obviously.
I'm gonna address this comment real quick from this guy. Great value. But those that has major issues.
That's my burner account.
That's from your burner account. I bet the beer are a little similar. Mendoza can't feel blindside pressure, and you can't learn that. Like, bro, who the fuck feels blindside pressure unless you're either clairvoyant or you have fucking eyeballs in the back of your head? I've seen dudes get literally cracked in half almost from blindside tackle. Like that's not indicative of a major issue. Like come on now, bro. Stop. Like and then he doesn't scream like a Raider leader. He looks more like a holy roller. Like, bro. So you want a guy like we just talked about fucking Geno Smith, right? And his fucking bullshit and all the shit that he fucking went through in the offseason and during the season. And his thing, you want a guy like that, a leader, right? Or you want somebody else like who's out there making noise and getting into shit because he's a leader. He's not a holy roller. Like you want a dude who's level-headed, who's dialed in, who's committed to the game. That's a dude that you want. This guy proves he's a leader. A quarterback commands the offense, bro. That's what he does, man. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, come on, my guy. I think you need to come up with better points that you can't flee. You can't sense and feel the blindside help, the blindside attack. Like
I get my balls busted enough talking about Mendoza. I'm not doing it today.
No, I don't know. It's just like
I'm trying to behave.
The guy that you guys had on like a month ago, like he actually made some more valid points in that. That's my
Sal, yeah.
Yeah. Sal made some more valid points. Like this is not that.
What's up, Ardell?
Like, unless you're like clairvoyant, bro, unless you're like psychic, you feel that presence coming, like, the only way you can start like thinking that way and like start looking at your blind side is if your blind side is getting like completely cooked all the time. Then you're like, all right, cool. I'm having to go ahead and keep an eye on. Now I got to go ahead and speed up my progression, my timing. Gotta get rid of the ball faster because my blind side is weak. So yeah, some guys feel that pressure. Some, keyword is some, not all. So I don't know, but yeah. Josh says he wants Sam Heitch center in case JPJ gets hurt. I think so too, bro. I think you still need to go ahead and draft some linemen. I don't think you need a whole other line, but if you get one or two guys at certain positions, just in case certain guys get hurt, and yeah, like if they go out and draft like a left tackle, the draft, like I'm not mad at that, But you also
But
have
again, that's where a guy like re-signing Meredith comes into play.
right.
Meredith, I thought was okay as a backup. I'd rather have him than Kappa.
Mhm.
I know we use Kappa a lot.
As guard, right? Like as guard.
No, center as a backup center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like I said,
there's certain
there's only a
positions that
couple in free
you
agency I would have seriously considered. Linderbaum being the number one, but we're going to see what he's going to demand for money. And the other one I would love to see us try and get, he's 28. He'll be almost 29 by the time the season starts, but he's got the experience, and that's Connor McGovern. But he will be cheaper than Linderbaum, but he is also a few years older too.
Yeah, sure. Right tackle I want is A&M Crownover Beast. He might fall the 4th round. Okay. There you go. Fucking number down. A holy roller, bro. I don't know. I feel like that's some Jeff shit right there. A holy roller.
That's why I don't go to church. I can tell
I might melt too, bro.
It's gonna burn down.
Yeah, I might melt too.
Hellfire and brimstone and all that other nasty shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not an atheist. I just don't like going to church. It's like a fucking workout. Stand up, sit down, kneel down, stand up, kneel down, stand up, sit down.
Yeah.
Fuck. If I'm gonna do calisthenics, I'll just stay home and sweat to the oldies with fucking what's his name? Can't even think of his name anymore. Richard Simmons. There you go. She's yelling it out in the background.
Yeah. Let's talk about this, and then we'll probably start wrapping it up from there. Again, make sure
for a cigarette. So yeah.
Okay. Go wrap it up. I gotta go. I gotta take a piss too. So again, real quick, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe on both channels that you see here. It really does help support the shows. But let's go ahead and get into this part real quick. The salary cap got officially raised the other day. I believe it was yesterday officially, where it got raised to 300 mil. And let me go ahead and kind of put this up out there. This is kind of the salary cap. Oops, what did I do? My bad. There we go. This is salary cap per club. The last 20 years, kind of how it's been raised. For us, it looks like we're going to be, at the moment, projected around 87, just shy of $90 million for this season. Obviously, that could change with, players getting released, restructures, all that good stuff. We talked about it earlier, and that could go well over into $100 million. It all depends on who gets cut and or who gets restructured and stuff like that. So, but officially it's 300 million, and it's roughly about 22 million increase per club around there. That's kind of how much we gain. but just wanted to go ahead and kind of share that. Obviously, we're going to be in the market for new players, especially in linemen,
A lot of new players.
linebackers. Yeah. So all that is
And Jack, I totally disagree with you. 100% disagree with you.
What?
What he said in that quote. Not that I want an O-line that are better at run blocking. That I agree with. But pass protection's easy to teach. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not even. It's one of the hottest things to do. Run blocking's easy. It's the pass protections that's a bitch. That's where the difficult part is.
Okay.
No, you
And you know
can't
what?
teach nastiness. I agree, but pass blocking is not easy.
Yeah.
You're on your heels right the second the ball snapped. So you've already, if you're not low enough, you're already losing leverage right there. And
Yeah.
you're going up against guys that are just coming in full speed at you. Whereas if it's a run play, you're firing straight off the ball. And you're two immovable objects banging into each other. Whoever's going to win is going to be the stronger of the two. When it's pass protection, man, it's leverage. It's the spacing of your feet to hold that ground. It's the arm reach. There's so much more involved in pass blocking versus run blocking. Run blocking, you just need to know where the running back's supposed to go on how the play is designed and who you have to hit. And your goal is to move that guy to the opposite direction of which way the running back's supposed to go. Pass protection, you're coming from all sides. You don't know if it's a safety blitz, blah, blah, blah. Lineback is blitzing. Is your left tackle getting run over? There's so much more involved in pass protection. You don't know what's going on with the quarterback behind you. If he starts scrambling, that changes everything. Pass protection is one of the hottest things to do. And probably in some cases, I know as an offensive lineman, I hated pass protection. I love run blocking because I get to fire off the ball and smash into somebody and watch that running back run right by us. That's the part that matters, which is why I think we're going to be a heavy run game next year. Mark my words, we're going to be a heavy run game.
We should be for sure. You know what the funny part is that some of these linemen are actually pretty good at pass pro, and they struggle a little bit on the rush block. It's funny because when I look at the attributes and whatnot, like they're good, they're great at pass pro. They lack a little bit of ability on the run block. So it's
Well, it also depends on what type of system they played in. If they played in it on a team that was heavy passing, then they're used to say 75% of the time dropping in, doing pass protection. But if you're a run first team and now all of a sudden you're shifting gears and you have to do more pass protection, that takes some time to get used to that. If you're used to being that super aggressive, firing off the ball and popping somebody in the mouth, and all of a sudden we're transgressing to a passing game where majority of our game plans are out of shotgun and we're throwing the ball, and you're not used to it, there's a learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Real quick, shout out to Bueno. He's been a member for 11 months. Salute to almost a year. That's on Jeff's channel. Salute to you, brother. Congratulations.
Almost there, man. 1 more month.
Almost there. Next month.
It's actually coming up on a year since I've been monetized. So pretty much when Bueno hits his 12-month mark, that'll be a 1 year. What's up, Devin? What's going on?
Yeah.
How's the little guy doing?
Right. Hope he's good for sure. Bueno says, I just want big bodies.
Jasmine the other day. She's getting big.
Oh, yeah.
She's already sitting on the potty. She's only like 6-7 months old.
Oh, wow, bro. Yeah. I know. I'm ready to have this girl do the same. Yeah, I'm already ready to have this girl do the same and stuff. Bueno says, I just want big bodies from the front five. Our O-line looks so damn small compared to opposing D-lines. Some of these guys just have big guys, bro. But I mean, they're not small. They're not too small either. But yeah, I know what you mean. Let's see here. All right. But I think other than that, what else? What else you have going on this week? You said you're gonna have you're going to be on tomorrow for the
For
last
the
day
alignment.
for linemen.
It'll be a shorter
Wow.
day, hopefully.
What time? What time are they going to be on? Where can they find?
I think it's the same time. I think they go on. I think they start at 1. I won't be up as late as I was last night. That's a guarantee. I just got so hooked on it last night. I'm like, I can't stop
on
watching
it. Went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. So I will be on for that tomorrow. But I will be on tonight, myself and Jason Downs with the Raider Nation Voices, where we take your phone calls tonight, Raider Nation. So make sure you guys tune in on my channel or Jason's, and the phone lines will be open. We go on at 10 o'clock tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. So we'll have some fun tonight. It was a good show last night. I had a good time last night. I had some good phone calls. Some really long one.
Yeah, I was listening. I was just like, I went to work out. Then I went to the barber shop. So I was like listening in and just I couldn't like be on the chat too much. But yeah,
that was fun last night. I think I had I'll tell you right now. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 9 phone calls last night. Well, on for like 3 hours. Afakasi jumped on screen with me for a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, as for me, I'll probably jump on a little for a little while tomorrow with you. And then Monday we'll do a Raiders Unfiltered. So make sure you guys go ahead and pull up for that. I'll go over the combine. We'll probably throw in a quick probably 4-round mock real quick. We'll do that up. So make sure you guys go ahead and tap in for that. I'll start pulling up a mock. I haven't done a mock all this season. I've done mocks on my own, but I haven't done one on
I've done 2 that we've revealed on Wednesday nights, but those were just for the hell of it type of thing. I didn't really put much effort into them. Like I did one while we've been talking, but I didn't do any trades. I just whatever was the top available guy, bang, I just took him. So like I didn't even scroll through, see who was available. I just took whatever was the number one at the time. Bang, that's who I took.
Yeah, I did some.
Let's put it this way: I didn't end up, and I kept the number one. I didn't do any trades. I didn't end up with Fernando. They have Reese slated as number one now. They moved them up.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I ended up with Reese, Lee Hunter, Emmett Johnson, the running back from Nebraska, defensive tackle from Oklahoma, Holton, Brennan Thompson, wide receiver from Mississippi, Matt Gilbin, the center from Michigan State, the edge, Llewellyn from Iowa, the linebacker from BYU, Jack Kelly, linebacker from Buffalo, Red Murdoch, and defensive tackle, Rashawn Benny from Michigan. That's who the team was. Like I said, I just kept clicking. I didn't even pay attention. It was my pick. Bang, took the top one.
Let me see if I can upload it real quick.
Jeff was looking at a plate, taking calls like they were ordering food. That was funny.
I don't think I can try to see if I can upload it from my phone.
See, this is the difference between the way we're doing things over in the Middle East versus the way Iran's doing it. They're just blindly firing shit into. They've hit Saudi Arabia now. They've hit Kuwait. They've been hitting Israel, but they're just sending shit into like civilian areas. Everything we're doing in Iran's all military installments.
Yeah, let me.
The fucking neighborhood just got leveled in Tel Aviv. Raiders trade the number one overall pick in Crosby for 5 first-round draft picks on the plate to be mentioned. That sounds like nice. I like that. It's a lot of 5-year option contracts. That's what that is. Jack asked me a question. Here it is. Let's see. Jeff, question. As an O-lineman, would you rather take an O-lineman that is better to start off with pass or run? It all depends on what you're running for the system. If you're a run-first heavy team, like if Kubiak instills we're going to be a run-minded team first, pass second, then I want a guy that's got a lot of experience in a run, in a run type system first.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do a heavy passing, like we're gonna do a lot of shotgun and shit like that, and then I want a guy that's got more experience in the pass protection. So it works both ways.
Let me see.
And whatever they're not good out of the other, they'll eventually pick it up at some point. They better, or they won't be long in this league. I just can't see how we're not going to be a run first team with dump offs to Brock every now and then, when you've got the caliber of a guy like Genty, who, if given the space and the opportunity to play with his talent, is going to do wonderful things for this team. To the point where you shouldn't be expecting Mendoza to come out here and throw for 5,000 yards a season, because then that means we're not running as much. I want a nice balance. I'd like to see a heavier run, which is why it's important that we bring in a second running back too. We got to give Genty a breather, or he won't be long in this league. We can't just keep feeding him the ball, 350 to 400 times a season, Pat, running it. You're going to kill this kid.
Yeah, that's and Kubiak already said that they're going to be a two-back system. So, for sure. I'm gonna put this mock up real quick. This is the mock that I did the other day. So mine was getting Fernando.
You went heavy defense. Holy shit!
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm telling you. Like, now that they put out that.
What's up, Israel?
They announced how we're gonna run the defense. Before base. So I went Fernando first. Then I traded back to 43, and I got Jacob. Jacob was still there. And then I got Kamari Ramsey, safety. Then
hold on. So you traded out of number 36 to 43. Yeah. What else did you get?
I think I got 99 and 135 on this one.
Okay, yeah, because we didn't.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I see what you did.
I got Kamari Ramsey at the third. Then again in the third, I got Dominique Orange, so that big nose tackle out of Iowa State. Then I drafted Julian O'Neill in the fourth, corner out of Arkansas. Then Anthony Lucas, the edge out of USC. Then I got another linebacker, Aiden Fisher, for that next fourth-round pick. Then I got Jude Bowery, tackle out of Boston College. So I got that right tackle position drafted. Then Lewis Moore. Say another safety. I should have gotten probably another linebacker there, but I drafted another safety. Cameron Ball, another D tackle, and then I got a running back, Jamarian Miller, out of Bama.
What number did you get Bowery at?
That's fourth, I believe.
You got him in the fourth round? What draft?
Yeah, 135. Because 134, 135 are back.
I went to see where he went in my draft. He went number 92 to San Fran in the third round.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so
he's good. He's definitely a good dude. He's definitely one.
For whatever reason, they didn't pick him up. They left him hanging out there in the wind until 135, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna get him. So I don't know.
Yeah, this seeing him, he's got potential to carry on Boston College's recent trend of NFL offensive line production.
Yeah, but
he started all games he started all at left tackle in 2024. Yeah. And in 2025, he started 9 games at left tackle. Yeah, I mean, that could be a fill-in for Colton Miller going forward. That's a good one. I'm glad you brought that one up. That's a good one to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Jude Bowery. Yeah. I like Cameron Ball. Yeah, I like Cameron Ball. Jameer Miller, I think, it'll be a good complimentary back for Genty. I did. So if you notice, I didn't draft the wide receiver.
I did notice that.
Yeah. So
I necessarily don't have a problem with that.
Or somebody else that we pick up in free agency.
See, Shahid's not going to be like a number one type of guy. He's more of a flash in the pan type of player.
But they said I could catch the ball. I play special teams too. So
again, I think that's what forces us to be a run first team with getting the ball when we can to Betch, and definitely, that's going to put Brock back in that almost 100 receiving, receptions in the season too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So that's just the mock. So I'll do another mock on Monday.
See, I like that running back taking him late too, because we don't have to knock it out of the park with a running back. We just see somebody that's serviceable that can fill in for a couple of plays or maybe take a series off for Genti, so we don't overuse this kid, because he's going to get used a lot. He's going to get used a lot. I mean, he's shown that he can catch the ball out of the backfield too last year.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got that potential to be that dual threat, provided we can give the quarterback protection so he can do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just getting the protection. That's what's most important there. So, just kind of did that there, but I want to share that with you guys. But we'll do one. We'll do one on Monday for sure. So make sure you guys again hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification on both channels. Anytime news goes down, we go on. Don't want to be left out in the dark. And just be in tune for the shows coming up as well. So again, appreciate you guys pulling up. And we will see you mañana
and I'll see you all tonight.
There you go. And tonight for
and Jay and I'll be on during the day tomorrow for the offensive lineman. I'm excited for that one. I really am.
Yeah,
I get excited for that one. I just want to see what these guys do.
Yeah, I think this year, since we know that we need to really fix this offensive line, we're gonna at least draft the guy. Like I said, even look at my mock, I just drafted one guy, at least one guy in there. I think we do that on this draft in real life. If not two guys, I don't think we need to draft a whole lot of guys. I think if we do one or two guys, I think that'd be cool, and we get the rest.
I'll tell you, if we bring in 2 in free agency and 2 in the draft, I'm happy. As long as they're good. As long as they're guys that we can grow. Because we need depth. We do need depth.
Exactly. Yeah, we do need depth. Yeah, for sure. 100%. But other than that, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody who pulled up today, rocking with us. There you go. Our guy Rebel. Late, he says Zachariah Branch is going to be a Raider. I'm calling it now. And you are not out of the realm of possibility, my guy. Make him a Raider like his great uncle for sure. So, and he says that hopefully Taylor Green as well. There you go.
Yeah, he was out there throwing passes.
Shout out to my guy James Furbo with the Raiders. You already know, bro. You already know. Appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you guys go ahead and pull up for Jeff's show tonight. But that is it for us today. I will see you guys mañana for the 4th day of the combine. So again, appreciate you guys. Till next time. Peace. Protect the shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
My guy, lunatic Raider, Raider Legion.
We on?
Hey! We on. None other than Mr. Fist, bringing none other than our guy, Joe Morley, bring out none other on the violator. Wayne Aubrey, bring out none other than